news. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard, filling in for Manda Factor. Seattle's mayor has made it official. In a video statement yesterday, Katie Wilson announced the resignation of former Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes, thanking him for his service.
Chief Barnes came to Seattle with a genuine belief in community policing as a philosophy. He arrived with a clear vision of what a department grounded in trust and accountability could look like.
She's expected to give more details on her decision during an 11 o'clock news conference today, when she'll also introduce Deputy Chief Andre Sales as interim chief. Seattle Police Chief Union Kent Liu says the controversy will not slow down the investigation into that gang-related shooting. The Washington Supreme Court rules Washington State University had a legal duty to protect a freshman who died from alcohol poisoning during a fraternity hazing ritual back in 2019. And Washington's Superintendent of Public Instruction is pushing back against a new federal inquiry into state policies involving transgender students. And now for Check on the Road, let's go to Chris Sullivan.
Hey, Katrina, we're doing really well as we start this Friday morning in really good shape. Hoping it's going to be a Friday light kind of day as we head into Seafair weekend. We do have about a 30-minute trip from Olympia to Tacoma, and then 35 minutes from from Federal Way to Seattle. Puyallup to Renton's also about 35 minutes. Renton to Bellevue's 15 or less. Coming down from the north end, a pretty quiet drive, except for the left lane campers on I-5. We have about a 35-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. One little blip to keep in mind if you're heading through the Snoqualmie area. We have a crash blocking the right lane of eastbound 18 right at I-90. Not a lot of action in and around this, so really you're not seeing any delay at all. But just something to keep in mind if it sticks around. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live. Stream it online. Watch the show or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
On this morning's edition of Start Here, ABC's Ali Pekarin talks with host Mike Dabowski about the delayed vote on President Trump's Attorney General pick.
You might remember Todd Blanche as President Trump's former attorney. He was part of the legal team Trump used to defend himself in the various cases the federal government had lodged against him, everything from hush money payments to election obstruction, classified documents. He then jumped over to the Justice Department after Trump won a second term and became acting attorney general earlier this year after Pam Bondi left amid backlash for her handling of the Epstein files. Well, for the past several weeks, acting Attorney General Todd Blanche has been trying to drop that acting part of his title, but he's run into some pretty big headwinds, notably from two prominent Republicans. Let's bring in ABC's Ali Pekarin. Ali, can you just break down what the holdup is in this nomination?
So there are two senators that we've been keeping a really close eye on this. And I know that doesn't sound like very much, but when it comes to a Senate confirmation, every vote matters, especially in a Senate that's divided the way this one is. These two senators are Senators John Cornyn of Texas and Senators Thom Tillis of North Carolina. Both of these men have raised objections to advancing Blanche's nomination because they have two major concerns about the acting attorney general that they say they need the Department of Justice to clear up for them before they feel comfortable voting for Blanche.
Every time I think we're getting close to a resolution, somebody throws a wrench into the work.
Both of those issues stem from a settlement that President Donald Trump reached with the IRS a little while ago. As a result of that settlement, two things happened that these senators don't like. Number one, there was the creation of this $1.8 billion so-called anti-weaponization fund. That fund was designed with the belief that people who felt that they were wronged by President Joe Biden's Department of Justice could seek retribution or repayment for damages that they may have faced under that Department of Justice.
But this is reimbursing people that were horribly treated. It's anti-weaponization. They've been weaponized.
When that weaponization fund was created, it was immediately faced with backlash by lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. There were challenges to it, and it forced Blanche to come to the Hill and basically profess that the fund would not go forward, that it was dead.
The settlement fund's just not moving forward. There's no modification. It's just, it never started. No money went from the Treasury to any other account. There's no commissioners. It's not moving forward.
But for Cornyn and for Tillis, they want firmer assurance that that is not going forward. They say they need to see in writing, not just in Blanche's public testimony, but in writing, that that fund is not going forward.
I mean, we've heard from them. It's just that refused to commit to writing what he testified to under oath.
The other thing are terms of that settlement that were reached. As part of that settlement, President Trump got assurances that current and past audits going on against him and his family members would be dropped. That's another thing that Cornyn and Tillis are taking a lot of issue with, mainly because they say they need to see the scope of that audit immunity narrowed. They want assurances that it applies only to Trump and his family and that it is only applicable retroactively, meaning that the IRS could open audits against the president or his family members moving forward from this moment in time. That's another thing that Cornyn and Tillis want to see in writing. And in some ways, they say they want to see that agreement formally modified. But right now, it seems like seeing it in writing might be enough for them. It's been a little unclear on that front. So both of these issues need to be resolved for these two senators to get on board. And they are very critical votes here because both of them sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee, where Blanche will need every single Republican to advance out of that committee and get to a vote on the Senate floor.
So that's the sort of backlash that we're seeing from Republicans in the Senate. President Trump also has a vested interest in Todd Blanche's future here. What have we heard from President Trump?
So this back and forth squabbling about getting Blanche confirmed has been going on for a little while now, several weeks, where we've heard Cornyn kind of making these demands, it being unclear if they're being met, all of that. And President Trump, sometimes not the most patient individual, right? Sometimes he likes to kind of push the subject forward. And in this case, yesterday, we saw the president do just that. So he took to social media and he called Todd Blanche a star and said that he was willing to pull Blanche's nomination and keep him in that acting role that he's currently serving until Tillis and Cornyn, who are both leaving the Congress at the end of this year, are out of office, so that maybe Trump is facing a more favorable Senate that would be more interested in confirming Blanche. So he's saying, go ahead, object. I'll just let Blanche continue serving in that acting role.
Right. So, Allie, if that indeed ends up being the case, where Todd Blanche stays as acting AG, is there stuff that he can't do because he has that acting title there? Like, is this something that, like, is actually limiting him from his full capabilities as AG, or is this just a title thing?
Pretty much the only difference is the title. Todd Blanche currently has all the authority that he would have as a Senate-confirmed attorney general in his role as an acting attorney general. Now, I should say, for many people serving in acting roles in the government, there's a timeline for how long they're allowed to serve in that role. But in Todd Blanche's case, it's widely believed that he'd be able to serve in that position even longer than that timeline because he's already been confirmed by the Senate once as the deputy attorney general.
Allie, as you mentioned, this has been going on for like a couple weeks now. So are we just destined to keep doing this? Like, what did we learn yesterday about where this goes next?
Yesterday on Capitol Hill, there was a lot of drama going on.
Senator,
You had reporters running around the building, chasing Tillis, chasing Cornyn, trying to get information from them about where negotiations between the senators and the Department of Justice stood.
I'm not going to speculate, but this could be solved in just a matter of seconds.
All of this drama coming after Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley late Wednesday night decided not to hold a scheduled committee vote to advance Blanche because he was pretty concerned that without Cornyn and Tillis, the nomination would fail.
Do you feel like it's workable?
Yeah, it's got to get done.
Cornyn and Tillis essentially left the Hill yesterday saying, we have no deal, we're not there yet. But what ABC News has learned is that Tillis and Cornyn later met with Blanche. So the two met with Blanche after canceling several meetings with him over the last few weeks yesterday evening. Now, it's not clear what exactly came out of that meeting. Those sources have told us they are closer. There is no deal yet.
Interesting. Well, Allie Pecorin on Capitol Hill, I know you're going to continue to track this for us. Thanks so much for explaining it all.
Thanks for having me.
You ask any soccer fan, and this year's World Cup was a pretty good one, all things considered. The teams were good, the matches were close, it was the first time the US, Canada, and Mexico hosted the event together, and even here in America, where soccer has struggled to take hold, watch parties were common. Bars playing games were full as people from around the world descended on cities across the country to take in the world's largest sporting event. But now, there's a new power struggle among the World Cup's organizers, and it could change the way this tournament looks forever. FIFA is a nonprofit. It has 211 member nations, and they all get a slice of money generated by the organization's big events, the biggest of which, of course, is the World Cup.
When the World Cup comes around every 4 years, this is how FIFA makes its money to sustain itself pretty much for the next 4 years. And the money that they raise as a non-profit organisation goes back into the game, and all these member associations are supposed to get their funds from FIFA, from the pot that was raised by the World Cup.
That's ESPN senior writer Mark Ogden. He says FIFA President Gianni Infantino has been pushing this new plan to make even more money with the help of private equity.
The proposal that Infantino has put is that they will create a new vehicle within FIFA called the FIFA Forward Enterprise, which would then take control of all the major events. Infantino is saying that they'll sell off a slice of that and it could raise up to $20 billion.
Now, there's already a familiar name lined up to bankroll all this, an investment group led by Joshua Kushner, the brother of Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law. Now, according to Infantino's plan, this would generate a lot more money for FIFA's members. Even smaller countries, smaller soccer federations that don't make it to the World Cup every year could potentially get $80 million worth of payouts, way more than they usually get. That might sound like a good thing for the sport, right? Well, not everyone's on board.
So UEFA is one of 6 continental confederations which feeds into FIFA. There are 55 UEFA members. It's the European Football Association, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Not just one country, but basically all of European soccer has come out against this. In a statement yesterday, UEFA said all 55 of its member nations would boycott FIFA-organized events if this plan goes through. That means major teams like France, England, and Germany. Spain, which just won the Men's World Cup this month, they're supposed to host the next World Cup alongside Portugal and Morocco. Poland is supposed to host a Youth World Cup this year. All of that could be off the table if Infantino's new plan goes into effect.
FIFA and Infantino know that UEFA have basically pressed the nuclear button. That this was their nuclear option. If they're serious, then the Infantino plan is in tatters.
UEFA cited a number of reasons for the boycott, including a lack of communication and a desire to preserve the game. Some things are simply too important to sell, according to a statement from that organization. But there's also this big concern about corruption.
The cynical side of it is that maybe this money won't always go to the right, outlets. But 10 years ago, the reason why Infantino is now the president is because his predecessor, a guy called Sepp Blatter, was forced out in a corruption scandal.
And it's worth reiterating just how big a deal this would be. Infantino is one of the most important people in sports. The World Cup is watched by millions around the globe. UEFA is not alone in opposing this. CONCACAF, the federation made up of the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and Caribbean countries, also yesterday came out against this plan. Now, the rest of FIFA's members have until September 19th to decide what to do, but until then, fans will be waiting to see just how loud money talks.
For your KIRO Newsradio forecast, sunshine and warm weather on the way today. Highs will be in the low 80s. Right now, it's about 56 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, a new look at the economy. More from ABC's Start Here program next.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Subscribe to the Jake and Spike YouTube channel and watch live or later.
142 striking workers in Washington State have collected benefits for the unemployment that they're now entitled to, per law in Washington, worth $506,000.
I'm not crazy about it. I get it that it's great that you're standing up for workers, but there's no risk.
You're voluntarily saying, I'm going to step
I'm
from
stepping
my
away.
pay, and I'd like somebody else to pay it. That doesn't seem fair.
Jake and Spike, weekdays noon to 3 on KIRO Newsradio.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1877 Cars Cars for Kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Back to ABC's Start Here program. ABC's Elizabeth Scholes breaks down the latest economic figures with Mike Dowski.
As the war in Iran has raged on, we've heard a familiar refrain from economists, and that is, regardless of who's conducting strikes or what peace deal is or isn't being signed, this is all going to drive up prices. Well, yesterday, we got a good look at exactly how accurate that prediction has been, with the federal government releasing some new economic numbers, which give us a really interesting snapshot into where the U.S. economy is right now. ABC's Elizabeth Scholes covers the economy for us. All right, Elizabeth, what do we learn from these new reports? Just run me through the numbers real quick.
Mike, what we basically got was a report card on the state of the American economy. This is the Gross Domestic Product Report, GDP, and it looked at the second quarter of this year. So it is a little bit backward looking, but it's always important to kind of give a picture of overall health in the economy. And what this report showed was growth is slowing down. So when you look at the numbers, the second quarter, the economy grew at an annual rate of 1.5%. In the quarter before, we saw that number closer to 2%. And we've been around that number for kind of a while. So it's a slowdown. It's not drastic. And it's worth pointing out that when you kind of dig into the details here, the biggest part of what drives the economy is consumers. And what this shows is consumers are still spending. We know that prices are up across the board for a lot of day-to-day goods. A big part of that has been the spike in oil prices caused by the Iran war. But even with higher prices, consumers are still spending, and that is continuing to power overall growth. Not as fast of a pace, though, as we've seen in the past. And these numbers released by the government show prices are still rising at a faster pace than you'd want to see in a healthy economy. And actually, there are signs that what's happening is that consumers are dipping into their savings to try to pay for some of these higher prices, whether it's gas, groceries, utilities, other, day-to-day essentials.
Right. So if I'm understanding you correctly, the prices that we've seen go up across the board hasn't totally stopped people from buying things, but it's like slowing down from what I understand. Is that the right way to characterize that?
That's totally fair, and that reflects what a lot of people are saying too. That that people are still outspending, and when you go out and you look around in the economy at a restaurant or at stores, people are still outspending, but they are feeling more stretched too. And kind of the big question for the economy, Mike, is how long can the pace of spending? How long can consumers continue to hold up the economy? Can they keep paying these higher prices, especially if their paychecks aren't keeping up as much as prices are going up? That starts to be a really big question mark.
Right. Well, speaking of things that may be holding up the economy, Elizabeth, I want to talk about artificial intelligence. When I'm not doing my best Brad Milkey impression, I am a tech reporter here at ABC News. So I would be remiss if I did not mention how the tech sector is impacting all this. AI, and specifically the investment that is being put into a variety of different things related to that particular tech sector, seems to be a huge part of this growth. What can you tell us about that?
There's no denying that AI right now is propping up the economy in a lot of ways, and also the stock market. I mean, when you look at kind of the gains we've seen in some of the biggest AI and tech companies, Microsoft stock, for example, surged more than 15% in trading on Thursday. That is a massive gain for a massive company that ends up propping up the entire stock market just because of the size of how big these companies are, Mike, which you know very well. So you've got the stock market component of these companies that are leading the way on AI. That's kind of driving a lot of the valuations that we see with investors, but it is showing up in the real economy too. When you go back to that GDP report, what you see is there's this kind of line item called business investment, and that reflects how much companies are spending in the economy. For example, when you look at their spending on equipment, which, you know, would probably suggest in a lot of ways data center, that's kind of where a lot of the equipment's going right now. That surged 15% in the second quarter in this report. That's a really big number when you're just thinking about how much money is going into the build out for AI. And that is undoubtedly keeping a lot of these numbers elevated in a way that maybe you wouldn't see without the AI boom that's happening right now.
Right. And probably worth mentioning as well, profits still remain pretty elusive in the artificial intelligence sector, which is not like super unusual in Silicon Valley, but still kind of takes on this new tenor just given how much spending there has been and kind of the larger economic conditions that we find ourselves in. Elizabeth, there is a new chairman of the Federal Reserve. His name is Kevin Warsh. One of his big goals that he said is that he wants to tamp down inflation. Earlier this week, we learned the Fed is going to keep interest rates steady for now. But how do you think this new data that we got yesterday is impacting how Warsh is thinking about the economy? What could the Fed do next here?
I mean, the Fed's one of their two main goals is keeping inflation in check. They are bound by law, Mike, to do that. And so we heard Kevin Warsh come out and talk about how they are committed to keeping inflation down. And yet, at the same time, the Fed didn't really use its main tool to try to bring inflation down, which is raising interest rates. Instead of hiking rates at its meeting this month, the Fed stayed on hold. And there was actually division within the Fed over this decision, which is pretty unusual to see kind of three Fed officials in this case speaking out saying we should be raising rates right now, and yet they didn't.
It was an active, robust discussion about what's in the full range of what we can do and might want to do in the period ahead.
And what that shows is the uncertainty right now over the prices that we're seeing, the higher prices, especially because of the spike in oil. Is that going to be higher long-term inflation? In other words, is this going to mean inflation is running above where the Fed wants it to be for the long term, in which case they would need to act a little bit more aggressively to raise interest rates and try to bring it down? Or do they think that this spike in oil, if the war ends, which is a big if right now, it'll come back down and prices will start coming down too? No one really knows the exact answer to that, and we're seeing that debate play out within the Fed.
The committee remains resolute. You've heard this before, but we will deliver price stability.
It was notable this week, Mike, that Kevin Warsh talked a lot about how important it is to keep inflation in check. They didn't actually do anything this month to keep inflation in check. And some people in the stock market are saying, is the Fed maybe not acting fast enough here to get this huge problem in the economy under control?
Another fascinating week in the U.S. economy. Elizabeth Schulze, thanks again for explaining that to me, my friend.
Lots of headlines out there. Thanks, Mike.
Expect a beautiful summer day with plenty of sunshine and highs in the low 80s. Tonight stays clear with partly to cloudy skies with a low around 60, and a cooler pattern moves in this weekend. Coming up, Charlie Harger with a commentary. Washington State has made it a habit of letting violent juvenile offenders off without real jail time, and Charlie is frustrated. That's next. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision doctors have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when it's your right time for RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consult today at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Your old water heater's starting to peter. DayandNight.net. Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
DayandNight.net. Golden Crest Metals helps investors understand how physical gold and silver can be held inside qualified retirement accounts without pressure or confusion. Our team brings decades of experience in precious metals and retirement planning with a focus on clear education, straightforward pricing, and a process designed to put clients first. Why do investors choose Golden Crest Metals? Experience, transparency, and a client-first approach. Tune into The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels every Saturday at 1 p.m.
All right, I'm very happy to have Phil Mitchell from Sunset Auto Family on with me right now. And Phil, you guys offer such an amazing value for people who are driving their cars a little bit longer now, and you guys offer repairs for life. How does that work?
Basically, we're going to cover any repair we do for $250 or over for as long as you own the vehicle.
So let me ask you this question. Let's say that I buy my vehicle elsewhere. My transmission on my car breaks down. You guys fix it. 10 years later, I have the same problem. You guys are going to fix that again for no cost?
That's right. No cost to you for as long as you own the vehicle.
So why would you even offer this? This has got to be incredibly expensive for you.
You know what? We just want to keep our customers for life. So chances are if we do a repair for life and we take good care of you, you might look us up when you decide to get a new vehicle. And we want to be your lifetime dealer.
So somebody really does feel like they're part of the Sunset Auto family.
That's exactly right. We want you to be part of the family, and that's why we take good care of you.
Oil changes for life, warranty protection for life, and repairs for life. Only at Sunset Kia in Auburn, Sunset Ford, and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
It's the best time of the year at Staples, with back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard, filling in for Manda Factor. We are hearing directly from the Seattle Mayor, Katie Wilson, after she announced the resignation of former Police Chief Sean Barnes.
This afternoon, I received and accepted the resignation of Chief Barnes.
Her office released a video statement yesterday acknowledging a lapse in communication on the night of the Bite of Seattle shooting.
The public should have heard sooner about outstanding suspects and the status of the Seattle Center campus. We will be working with SPD to ensure that communications go out much sooner in the future, should anything like this happen again.
Wilson thanked Barnes for his service, but did not fully explain why she requested his resignation. The mayor is holding a news conference today at 11 when she'll introduce Deputy Chief Andre Sales as interim chief. Many city councilors say they did not hear from the mayor before any decisions were made about Barnes' future. Among them, Maritza Rivera. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi reports.
Councilmember Rivera learned about the mayor's press release, which confirmed that Sean Barnes had resigned, from KIRO News Radio moments after it came out.
It just was poor decision-making based on her lack of experience and incompetency.
And she says in the release, Wilson didn't explain what prompted all this.
That's not how you treat your residents. This is a big deal.
Rivera says she would have had no problem with Barnes staying on as chief. She says he's been responsive, and from her perspective, he's been a good partner. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
911 calls reveal the chaotic moments following that fiery seaplane crash in the San Juans.
Just watched a plane come down from very close to where we were. You're not sure if anyone is currently in the burning plane?
I'm not sure if there's anyone else, but anyone else in that plane is done because it's completely on fire.
All 11 people on board did survive, but 4 went to the hospital with serious injuries. KIRO 7 TV obtained those calls. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating what caused the Kenmore airplane to go down. And now, for a check on the roads, let's go to KIRO News Radio real-time traffic with Chris Sullivan.
It's quiet out there, Katrina. Let's try to keep that going. I know it's early, but looking at a really good drive all the way around. No issues. All green on the map, and coming down from the north end, you're not really going to hit the brakes much at all. Looking at 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Coming the other direction, Olympia to Tacoma, about a half an hour, and then Tacoma on up to Federal Way is quiet. Federal Way to Seattle, nice and easy all the way into Seattle, 35 minutes there. Valley Freeway, 35 minutes as well, and then Renton to Bellevue is only 15. Lake bridges are good, and the little issue we had on westbound, make that eastbound 18 right at I-90 in Snoqualmie, appears to have gotten out of the way, so it never really caused much of an issue, and so that's great. A little bit of slowing through the construction zone on westbound 16 as you work your way around the corner in Port Orchard, getting over to Gorse, but again, nothing you can't handle. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
For your forecast, plenty of sunshine and highs in the low 80s today. Tonight will stay clear with partly cloudy skies. A cooler pattern moves in over the weekend. Right now, though, it's 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
In Charlie's commentary yesterday, how Washington's lenient policy with violent teens is selling some families short.
It's January 22nd, 2020. I'm working late and the newsroom scanner crackles. Multiple people shot at 3rd and Pine. When I get to the scene, the TV cameras are clustered around the yellow tape. I go the other direction, looking for people on the edges. A homeless man sitting against a building wall had watched the whole thing. He saw a woman die. He saw a child get shot. Told me everything, and his hands are still shaking. 8 people were hit that night. Tanya Jackson was killed. She was 50. A 9-year-old boy took a bullet in the femur walking with his family after a trip to the Pacific Science Center. It was a gang shootout. The 2 men responsible had 65 combined arrests before they pulled the triggers that night, and both were acquitted of murder. Their lawyers argued they were returning fire. The jury said that was lawful self-defense under Washington law. The legislature had 6 years to fix that statute. The 6 sessions. They have passed nothing. Now, fast forward to this past Sunday. 6 o'clock summer evening, thousands of families at the Bite right next to the Space Needle. A gang-related shootout erupts outside the Armory. 3 people are dead. Carlos Villalba was 44, a husband, father of 3. Ashley Whitehead was 56. She was able to say goodbye to her daughter before she died. One of the alleged shooters, age 19, was killed at the scene, and a 2-year-old boy was shot in the arm. He's okay now, but he will carry that scar longer than anyone in Olympia will carry the memory of this. Here's the sequence early reporting hasn't made clear, and it's the whole case. According to the charging documents, an unidentified man fired first. The 15-year-old pulled his gun and shot back, and the bullets that killed Whitehead and Villalba do not appear to have come from that teenager's gun. Think about what a defense attorney does with that. Someone else shot first. The teen returned fire. His bullets didn't kill the bystanders. In 2022, the Third and Pine defense told the jury their client only shot because he had to, because he was being shot at. And the jury acquitted, and that man's bullets did kill someone. This kid's apparently didn't. The brief writes itself. Now, a second broken law. King County prosecutor Lisa Mannion has been sounding the alarm for years. Her words? It isn't until the 5th conviction that a young person is offered meaningful service at juvenile rehabilitation. I think that is too long. Too long is generous. Under the juvenile sentencing grid, unlawful gun possession draws a maximum of 30 days. First offense, 30 days. Second offense, 30 days. Third, fourth, the same. A kid can be caught carrying a gun 4 separate times and never spend more than a month locked up. Prosecutors have filed the charges they can against the kid: assault and illegal gun possession. So I'll say what nobody else in Seattle media is saying. This kid is very likely going to walk with a slap on the wrist. The self-defense playbook has already worked once. If the assault charges fall, what's left is gun possession. First offense for this guy, 30 days. 3 dead at a food festival. A toddler shot. 30 days. And people beg the legislature to act. After those 2022 acquittals, Dave Ross, right here on this program, called for changes to the self-defense statute. Nothing passed. 2 bills to fix the juvenile gun grid with bipartisan sponsors. It also died in committee. Carlos Villalba's kids don't have a dad this morning. Ashley Whitehead's daughter doesn't have a mom. Somewhere in Olympia, the legislators who let those bills die will issue statements calling this a tragedy. A tragedy is something you can't prevent. This was preventable twice, and the people we elected to prevent it took a pass.
That is the commentary from Thursday, July 30th. You can find all of Charlie's commentaries at mynorthwest.com. Coming up, your political insights from ABC's Dave Packer. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear the John Curley Show, 3 to 7.
If 20 people were asked to choose toppings for a pizza, and the majority were not asked to pay for any of the toppings, they would probably choose, the majority would, the most delicious and therefore the most expensive. Government should list the price of the toppings and everybody should pay something. We are ruled by the ignorant, elected by the ignorant, and that is the case.
Watch live or later on the John Curley Show's YouTube channel.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
KIRO News Radio is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the KIRO Newsradio app or visit mynorthwest.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's mynorthwest.com/win.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
These are your political insights from ABC News. President Trump is floating the idea of possibly withdrawing Todd Blanche's nomination for Attorney General after his confirmation hearing was postponed due to 2 Republican senator holdouts. They're concerned over provisions of his IRS settlement. President saying he'd try again next year. One of those holdouts, Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina.
Hey, 158 days, they can try it again, roll the dice on what the Senate confirmation process looks like next year. It's all on him.
The other holdout is Senator John Cornyn of Texas. Neither one's going to be on the ballot this November and have become the face of the opposition to the IRS settlement, giving political cover, though, to a number of like-minded Republican colleagues. The DSA on the march with less than 2 weeks before the election. Mandela Barnes announced he's dropping out of the Democratic primary for Wisconsin governor. This after a poll found the Democratic socialist in the race, Francesca Hong, was leading Barnes and other candidates by a large margin. Dave Packer, ABC News.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, expect a beautiful summer day with plenty of sunshine and highs in the low 80s. Right now, it's 55 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, we hear from TJ Martinell from Center Square. An exclusive report from the square demonstrates the communication breakdown between Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson and Governor Bob Ferguson in the aftermath of Sunday's deadly shooting. That's next.
Did you know that 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state? I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide financial support for breast and gynecologic cancer patients in our community. Join us at Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon of inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
How sweet it is! 50 seasons of moments. 50 seasons of legends. A once-in-a-lifetime event. Join Mariners past and present at T-Mobile Park August 7th through 9th for 50 Season Celebration Weekend. The festivities begin Friday with a post-game slugfest, the Alumni Home Run Derby featuring Ichiro and other former Mariners sluggers. Presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Saturday will be a showstopper. 50 season celebration night presented by Daktronics. Arrive early to witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed.
It just continues.
The weekend wraps up on Sunday with a collectible 50 Seasons pin giveaway thanks to KeyBank. Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
An exclusive report from the Center Square yesterday reveals a text message exchange between Mayor Katie Wilson and Governor Bob Ferguson in the hours after the deadly shooting at the Bite of Seattle. Sharp criticism surrounding the city's response in the wake of that shooting, with the text highlighting a breakdown in communication between the city and state leadership. Let's bring in TJ Martinell from the Center Square to break it all down. TJ, I'll do the reading so you don't have to. These are text messages after all, but here's what it says. It says, Wilson, we are pulling together a conference call now and likely a press conference later, to which Governor Ferguson responds, I could be there by 9 p.m. Then at 10:12 p.m., Ferguson again, please call. So what are your takeaways from this, TJ?
I mean, I think what we're witnessing is people in leadership fighting over who's going to take the blame for the delayed conference. I think the thing that I feel like is not being emphasized enough in a lot of comments that I've gotten is that Katie Wilson said likely a public conference later tonight, which meant there might have been no public conference. And my question is, does that mean there would have been no police briefing? Like the public would have had no idea what had happened and gotten no update until potentially the next day. So the other thing is, this is the fastest public record I've ever gotten. I submitted the public record on Monday and got this yesterday. So I'm interpreting this as Governor Ferguson's office trying to dispel any thought that he asked them to delay, which obviously the text messages don't show. But we still don't. I mean, there's so many questions left to be asked. Like, why was it delayed? You know, who was that? You know, was it the police are saying it was some dignitaries. Well, who's the dignitary? So, yeah, it's a very interesting situation. And I think the thing that's getting conflated here is the police briefing and a press conference. You know, they could have done a media availability thing the next morning. So the question remains is, would they have also delayed a police briefing to inform the public about what was going on? Because as, you know, everybody or people who've been following the story knows, the suspect was still at large. So that, you know, people might have encountered this person and not known.
TJ, I think I'm among many who go, wait, what? In terms of how quickly you got that response, could you actually hear the sound of the bus being about to go over Katie Wilson when you received that back so quickly?
That is actually my instant reaction when I saw the record. I opened it up and it was this photo of this cell phone text messages, and I was like, okay, I know exactly what's going on here. I mean, when I opened the email and saw that they'd had responsive records, I knew I had a very strong suspicion that this was the governor's office putting out a fire, because I think there was people making accusations that he had ordered them to delay until he got there. So, you know, this is, and what's interesting is I reached out to Katie Wilson's office, I reached out to the Seattle Police Department, and then neither one of them responded. So I think, you know, they're of course scrambling. I believe from what I've heard, the police chief has been let go. That's just based on preliminary news. But I mean, I think that there's probably total mayhem and chaos in Katie Wilson's office, and honestly, this is going to be difficult for her to explain. That particularly that we'll likely have a public conference. I mean, what does that mean? What would cause you to not do one that night?
So we have a couple things, right? So our reporting also confirms that the chief has been fired, and it really does look like there's this rift, right, between the governor and the mayor and the SPD. How unusual, in your reporting experience, is it to see such a rift between all those three entities?
I mean, I haven't really covered this area of Seattle as much, but I think that this is what you're seeing is a lot of different things going on. You have a police chief who didn't even live in the city. You have a mayor who has no prior background experience in leading even a small town. You know, she wasn't even the mayor of a town as small as Roslyn or you know, any kind of place like that. So now she's handling a crisis, and then as a result of that, now the governor, who's been in politics for how many years, is being dragged into, you know, rumors that he delayed the press conference. So you have a lot of different public officials with different backgrounds reacting in very different ways. And it seems like Governor Ferguson's background experience in politics, he's responding very quickly to protect himself. And, you know, and if it's at Katie Wilson's expense, you know, so be it.
Yeah, it's one of those big old metro buses, it sounded like. Let me ask you this, because share with our listeners just how unusual it is to go 5 hours after a crisis without a police briefing, at least giving the public an update about the status of the situation.
Yeah, that is really unusual. That's why there was so much controversy, and there's been so many questions raised of why did it take so long for them to provide information? I mean, did they find something out about one of the suspects that they were trying to keep a tight lid on? Was it somebody who had connections with somebody in the police department? Again, these are all questions we don't know, and that's part of the problem. And so, and again, you had an active suspect on the loose, and so people need to be informed. And so there was just a total breakdown in communication between the police department and the public. And then you have the mayor not sure if they're going to do a press conference or a public conference later that evening. And so a lot of people in Seattle could have gone to bed that night not knowing what had happened or what was going on. And I think more importantly, saying what's their response, what actions are being taken. And I think that's the other thing that got missed out is there's, you know, what are they doing to track down this ongoing suspect?
Yeah. TJ Martinell with the Center Square. TJ, thank you. And I encourage you, check out the Washington State Center Square with just those text messages and a lot of background. TJ, thanks for your time this morning.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, expect a beautiful summer day with plenty of sunshine and highs in the low 80s. Tonight stays partly to cloudy with a low around 60. Right now, it's about 55 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with a preview of a big press conference today from Seattle's mayor. Former Police Chief Sean Barnes is out and Deputy Chief Andre Sales is in. Plus, at 6:15, an update on the war in Iran with a potential peace deal in Gaza. We'll check in with ABC's Karen Travers. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO. News Radio 97.3 FM.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the story of Julie Guillot. She's a Leukemia and Lymphoma Society advocate and the mother of a child who battled blood cancer.
Zach was diagnosed with AML, a deadly leukemia, when he was only 5. While the treatment really attacked the cancer, unfortunately it also attacked his body. Uncontrollable fevers, terrible nosebleeds, and his skin was burned from the inside out. He died at just 9 years old, really from the treatment that was meant to save him.
The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society was founded 70 years ago by parents who also lost their child to cancer. Today, we're pioneering breakthrough treatments for kids with cancer.
We are so close to finding better treatments for kids with cancer. So it's too late to save Zach, but working together, we can save thousands of kids just like him.
Visit LLS.org and save a child's life.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
Holy smokes, I can see. Hey, everybody, it's Rick Riz. And I just had refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision, and it's amazing. K2 Vision RLE means no more readers or glasses for me. Plus, I'll never get a cataract. Now, when I call a game, you won't see those readers dangling from the end of my nose to see the field and then my notes. I only wish I had done it sooner. It's like seeing a whole new ball game. K2 Vision RLE was quick and painless, over in just minutes, and I knew I was in great hands. The K2 Vision RLE team has done over 150,000 lens procedures. You can trust their stuff. K2 Vision RLE is my permanent solution to a lifetime of great vision. It could be yours too. Enjoy life's good years without readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Get your free Zoom consult now at K2VisionRLE.com. Then you can make the same call I did. Goodbye, glasses. K2VisionRLE.com.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps." Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at LifePointLaw.com. That's LifePointLaw.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. More fighting in the Middle East. Here's ABC Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz.
It is escalating and spreading throughout the region with no clear strategy of how this ends. A drone strike in Egypt, Kuwait, Saudi, and the Houthis now in a showdown again. And these continued strikes on Iran and threats of larger ones have so far had little effect on the Iranians.
Escalating along with the fighting, oil company profits. Chevron and Exxon both reporting huge numbers from April through June. Exxon's profits doubled in the second quarter. Chevron's nearly quadrupled. At least 34 people have died in Spain's border crisis with Morocco. This week, thousands of migrants breached the border between Morocco and the Spanish enclave of Ceuta. Unclear what sparked the rush of people. Another heat dome settling over the west. Las Vegas could hit its hottest temperature ever this weekend. Oregon on the lookout for wildfires thanks to drought conditions and high wind gusts. This is ABC News. Republican Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis still holding out on confirming Todd Blanche to be the next Attorney General. They say they want written assurances that the IRS settlement reached with President Trump will not be moving forward. In Washington, here's ABC's Karen Hua.
The controversial part of the settlement involves a $1.8 billion so-called anti-weaponization fund of taxpayer money to compensate people who claim they were unfairly targeted by government prosecutors. Those people could include rioters who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. Blanche recently said after a widespread backlash that the fund is not being established, but he never put that promise on paper. Senator Tillis suggests one of Trump's advisors wants to revive the fund.
Senior FIFA advisor Carlos Cordeiro on the White House task force for the World Cup has resigned this morning in protest over FIFA's plan to sell a stake in the World Cup to private equity. FIFA President Gianni Infantino says the plan has been misinterpreted. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 6:02, here's what's happening. Seattle's police chief officially out. Mayor Katie Wilson accepted Sean Barnes' resignation yesterday, but hasn't said why she asked for it. She's expected to explain at a news conference this morning at 11. Luke Ducey is on the way with details. The Washington State Supreme Court says a wrongful death lawsuit against Wazoo can move forward over a fraternity hazing death that killed a 19-year-old back in 2019. And Bellevue is getting Lime scooters and e-bikes. 500 of them hit the streets August 10th. Time to check traffic now. We do that every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we're doing really well, Charlie. As we start this Friday morning, we don't have a lot of action out there, just a little bit of braking here and there. We're going to look at Olympia to Tacoma at only about a 30-minute trip, and then Federal Way to Seattle's only 35. Valley Freeway, 35 minutes from end to end, and Renton to Bellevue's only 15. Coming down from the north end, 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. A couple things off our major freeways, but for those of you going westbound on 16 through Port Orchard, we might see a little extra slowing through that construction zone. Someone drifted off and drifted into that construction zone this morning and hit a barrier, so there's a little action there. And I believe, I haven't been able to confirm it yet, but it looks like there might be a crash impacting both directions of the Maple Valley Highway right by Cedar Grove. So if that's your commuting trip this morning, I'll be watching that closely. Hopefully I have more for you in 10 minutes. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
Seattle's Morning News.
Good Friday morning. From city council members to the Police Officers Guild to local black community leaders, people are reacting to the resignation of Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes. All of them are calling Mayor Katie Wilson's decision to ask Barnes to resign wrong and reckless. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest.
Charlie, Sean Barnes announced his resignation yesterday afternoon through an attorney that is now representing him, saying he was surprised by the mayor's request and he expressed his dedication and appreciation to the city. Well, Wilson then made her own announcement on social media.
This afternoon, I received and accepted the resignation of Chief Barnes.
She thanked Barnes for his service, but did not share why she asked for him to resign. She also acknowledged a lapse in communication to the public on the night of the Bite of Seattle shooting, where 2 innocent people were killed, 4 others injured, including a 2-year-old boy.
The public should have heard sooner about outstanding suspects and the status of the Seattle Center campus. We will be working with SPD to ensure that communications go out much sooner in the future, should anything like this happen again.
Reaction from City Council was sharp. City Council President Joy Hollingsworth says now is not the right time to replace the police chief in the wake of that shooting especially.
When a city is grieving and you are coming off of an emotional and traumatic experience, to make leadership changes in this moment can seem very irrational and a little bit reckless.
Councilmember Maritza Rivera, a little more pointed. She actually learned about Barnes' resignation not from the mayor, but from KIRO News Radio.
I think this was poorly handled, and it shows her inexperience. I think the whole situation has been amateur, and I can't imagine how this looks or feels to our residents.
She also pointed out that Wilson has not, again, explained why Barnes is stepping down. She's not telling the public. She hasn't explained it to her own city council. No one knows right now. Hollingsworth, along with council members Dan Strauss, Deborah Juarez, Bob Kettle, they all issued a joint press statement as well, echoing all those messages that they disagree with the mayor's decision to ask for that resignation. And so did council member Rob Saka. We're going to hear from him later on this morning as well. Now, in her taped video statement, Wilson said she promoted Deputy Chief Andre Sales to interim chief. There's a press conference scheduled for 11 a.m. today to introduce Sales and to answer questions. There'll be a lot of questions for the mayor, but will we get any answers? Charlie, I mean, why did Wilson ask Barnes to resign? That's one. Was it just disagreements on policy? Was it because of what critics call excessive travel? 45 trips between April and July out of town? Was it the delay in information in informing the public on Sunday that the mayor was talking about? Barnes was in Dallas on one of those trips during the shooting. Well, in that taped message from Wilson, she said if she knew on the day of the shooting that there was little communication going out to the public, she would have done something about it. You know, number one, that sounds like finger pointing. Number two, the buck stops with her. So another question, either she knew about it, and some sources say she actually pushed pause on all communications that night until late Sunday night, or if she didn't know it was going on like she says, why didn't she know? She is, after all, the mayor.
How unusual is it, Luke, to have the city council blast the mayor so quickly after a decision is made?
I don't think, and I can't remember the last time we've seen something like this in Seattle, something so volatile, involving something like a mass shooting. You would think that would bring people all together and align them on the same page. In this case, because of, it seems, apparently the actions of Mayor Katie Wilson, it has done the opposite, and the opposite effect is there is confusion, division, and not everyone's on the same page when it comes to City Hall.
And not much accepting of responsibility.
More on that this morning as well.
Luke Ducey reporting live. King County's former top cop says Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes' travel was simply too much.
King County's former top cop says Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes' travel was simply too much. Retired King County Sheriff John Urquhart told the G and Ursula show that Barnes spent roughly 47 days out of Seattle in about 6 months, attending conferences and events. Urquhart says big city chiefs are in demand, but the job still comes down to being physically present when crises hit.
There's lots of training you can go to, and it really takes self-control. You have to say, no, I need to stay here.
Urquhart says Seattle deserves an A-list chief, but constant turnover and political clashes make it a tough sell. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Sully, yesterday was one of those days I had it locked on the station like all day long.
Yeah, I hear you. Weird times.
You know.
Yeah, just...
G and Ursula were on fire with Angela filling in for G. You had John Urquhart in there for close to an hour.
Yeah,
just going ham.
And we're just hearing, we're hearing from all the people at City Hall, just basically throwing up their hands at the inexperience from the mayor's office and what's happening. And buried in all this, and again, there's probably a reason for this. What are we, 5 days later? And we still have no idea who we should be looking for the suspect that actually killed the people in this shooting, or any suspect information or anything about that, or whether there's any danger.
A listener pointed out there were 5 guns that were used in this shooting. We've only, ID'd the 2 shooters. So where did these other guns come from, and how and who was using them? So
we don't know anything about that. And isn't that still a public danger in some way, shape, or form.
And we've given the top cop the boot.
The boot, yeah, and we have zero leadership and or accountability coming from the mayor. So be an interesting press conference. That's going to be must-listen to radio at 11 a.m.
Yeah, we will definitely have that on KIRO News Radio. Well, this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control. Coming up, ABC's Karen Travers with an update on the war in Iran, what's happening at the White House, and KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden with a look at the weekend planner. 6:10 now. 911 calls reveal the chaotic moments following that fiery seaplane crash in the San Juan.
Just watched a plane come down from very close to where we were. You're not sure if anyone is currently in the burning plane?
I'm not sure if there's anyone else, but anyone else in that plane is done because it's completely on fire.
Now, the good news here is all 11 people on board did survive. 4 went to the hospital with injuries. KIRO 7 TV obtained those calls, which also reveal nearby boaters rushing to the scene. It happened near Susha Island on Thursday of last week. The NTSB is investigating what caused that Kenmore airplane to go down. Washington Superintendent of Public Instruction is pushing back against a new federal inquiry into state policies involving transgender students. Superintendent Chris Rakedahl says the U.S. Department of Education is seeking information from Washington and California about school policies governing student records and parental access. Rakedahl says his office has already provided thousands of documents during a 15-month federal investigation and will continue to cooperate. He also maintains Washington's parental access and anti-discrimination laws comply with both state and federal law. A 5-4 ruling from the state Supreme Court clears the way for a wrongful death lawsuit against Washington State University over a fraternity hazing death. The court says the university had a duty to protect 19-year-old Sam Martinez, who died from alcohol poisoning during a hazing ritual in 2019.
Our world broke apart the day that Sam died.
His mother, Jelaine Houts, testifying in favor of what became Sam's Law, which requires university employees in Washington to report hazing. The university says it remains committed to student safety and is continually strengthening its policies, education, and oversight related to hazing, and it says its legal counsel will carefully review and analyze the court's decision before figuring out what to do next. Thurston County Fair is officially underway in Lacey. Thursday night's opening ceremony came with a Seahawk-sized beat. Yeah, that was Blue Thunder last night. They hit the fairgrounds, bringing plenty of energy to kick off the festivities. The Thurston County Fair ends on Sunday. 6:12 now, time to get a check on the weather. We are expecting a nice, sunny, and warm day today. High of 83. Weekend forecast, though, it's looking like we might have some showers tomorrow and a little breezy. A high of 72. So we're expecting the low show from the Blue Angels. 71 the forecast high on Sunday, and not as much of a chance of widespread showers. Start to warm up starting on Monday. 76, 83 by Tuesday. Right now in Seattle, we have 55. 6:13 now. We check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
Still doing well, Charlie, across the board on our freeways. Just a little bit of volume here and there by some of the major interchanges where people are merging on. But overall, we're running under 40 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. The brake lights are the heaviest there, right at 405. And then the Renton S-curves started to heat up a little bit kind of at the north end there, right at Sunset. But overall, 17 minutes to Bellevue's not bad. Getting to Renton, though, on the Maple Valley Highway might be difficult. We have been working some kind of crash there on the Maple Valley Highway impacting both directions right at Cedar Grove Road. It appears to be getting better, but if you're traveling through that area, expect some unusual slowing coming up from 18 before you get there. Coming down from the north end, 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. That's a pretty good number. Federal Way to Seattle, same deal, 35 for you guys. Olympia to Tacoma, a little braking in Nisqually through DuPont. Give yourself 40 to Tacoma. 16 looking good back and forth between Port Orchard and Tacoma. Look for a little braking on westbound 16 through the construction zone into Port Orchard. There's a police investigation that might be wrapping up there. Someone kind of drifted into the work zone and hit a barrier early this morning, but not seeing a huge backup in that area. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
Exchanged missile fire through the week. The fighting it seems to be resuming between the U.S. and Iran. It's actually quite a confusing situation. Hopefully we can start to break down some of this with ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers. What is the state of play over the past 24 hours, Karen?
It was relatively quiet. There were no U.S. strikes on Thursday night into Friday. We're getting some reports that Kuwait had intercepted Iranian drones, but we didn't see the strikes on Jordan that we had seen earlier this week by Iran. That, of course, is what prompted that escalation, the retaliatory strikes by the United States Wednesday night into Thursday, when the military says dozens of Iranian targets were hit, including command centers, missile and drone facilities, coastal surveillance and defense sites, and maritime capabilities. The president had indicated Wednesday that that was going to happen. He said, we're going to be hitting them very hard because it's our turn to hit them. And when he was asked if the U.S. would always respond to an Iranian strike, he said yes. So it's not clear if the strategy at this point from the president is retaliation if Iran does something, or if the plan would be for the military to go back on offense like we saw earlier this month with 13 nights of consecutive nights of strikes. That's not clear at this point of where this goes, I think, over the coming days.
Where are we in terms of peace negotiations?
I mean, there's very little publicly that would indicate that there's any meaningful talks happening right now, or anything moving closer to a deal to get another ceasefire. The president said this week that, we'll see if we get there with an agreement at some point, leaving the door open for negotiations that he has claimed are going on. But it was not a very firm and, I think, a definitive statement that the talks are heading in the right direction this week, given what we saw with the ongoing strikes.
The New York Times posted last weekend there were concerns about the United States weapons stockpile. We've also heard pushback to that reporting. What are you hearing about the amount of weapons the U.S. has available for this conflict?
The White House has pushed back on that reporting. We had reported that, too, that there were concerns expressed by the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in a meeting last week about depleted munitions stockpiles. There was a report from a think tank in Washington this week that indicated that they had been significantly decreased since the start of the war. The president, his senior officials, though, have pushed back very strongly and said the U.S. has all it needs right now to conduct these operations in the way it wants to, but that was, we are told, part of the calculation of why the president did not launch that bigger strike that he had threatened late last week.
How about we go to Gaza, where the president is saying the Board of Peace has reached some sort of disarmament deal with Hamas. What do we know about this?
This is what the president said last night. We heard from U.S. officials that Hamas has agreed to disarm and transfer power in Gaza as long as Israel withdraws from the Strip. Details still are pretty slim, and I should note that Hamas has not publicly come out and indicated that they are on board and in support of this plan. So I think there's still a lot of things that need to be filled in.
Okay. ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers. Karen, thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too.
What was expected to be a routine committee vote has turned into a high-stakes test of Republican unity. News Nation's Rashad Hudson says the senators who are blocking Attorney General nominee Todd Blanche's nomination say they have real questions.
Concerns from two Republican senators forced the cancellation of a vote to advance Todd Blanche's nomination for Attorney General. Republican Senators John Cornyn of Texas and Tom Tillis of North Carolina remain uneasy about a Justice Department settlement with President Trump. It created an anti-weaponization fund and gave President Trump and members of his family protection from future tax audits.
We just want to end the fund. And this is not about Blanche. Blanche is negotiating in good faith.
Blanche testified that the deal is dead, but the agreement has drawn scrutiny from lawmakers who want answers about how it was negotiated and whether it sets a dangerous precedent.
This is about making sure that even if you're the president of the United States, you don't get favorable terms from the government in a settlement of a lawsuit that ordinary citizens would not get.
On Truth Social, President Trump floated the idea of withdrawing Blanche's nomination until 2027, when Tillis and Cornyn are out of office. Meanwhile, Democrats were never supportive of Blanche.
My Republican friends are finally finding their backbones.
He will not commit
not to be Donald Trump's lawyer and run the IRS to protect Donald Trump.
And Republican leaders say they are continuing to work behind the scenes to lock down the necessary votes to move this nomination forward. As of right now, there's no indication of when the Judiciary Committee will schedule that vote.
Your smartphone may be able to connect directly to satellites. News Nation's Rich DeMuro says with a clear view of the sky, you could send emergency texts, messages, share your location, or even use some apps.
Apple introduced emergency SOS via satellite with the iPhone 14 in 2022. It can send emergency and regular texts, update your location through Find My, and even help you get roadside assistance. Just start a new message and type roadside, help, or even flat tire. Keep in mind, your phone must show the satellite icon for this to work. You'll also need a clear view of the sky, and messages can take 30 seconds or longer to send and receive. To see if your iPhone supports satellite, go to Settings, then Emergency SOS, and scroll down to try the demo. On a Samsung Galaxy phone, satellite connectivity depends on your phone and carrier. To check, go to Settings, then Connections, and look for satellite networks. Google Pixel 9 and newer also have satellite SOS built in, independent of your wireless carrier. To try it, go to Settings, then Safety and Emergency, and select Satellite SOS. If you have T-Mobile, some plans include T-Satellite with Starlink. It lets you send texts and use data with certain apps, including AllTrails and Google Maps. The connection is often easier because Starlink has so many satellites acting like cell towers in space. You can even add T-Satellite to a phone on another carrier for $10 a month. T-Mobile also offers a free option that gives you access to text to 911 via satellite on eligible phones. Finally, two popular smartwatches also have satellite connectivity built in. The Apple Watch Ultra 3 and the Pixel Watch 4, but only the LTE version. Bottom line, get familiar with your device and its satellite capabilities. Don't wait until you're lost, stranded, or dealing with an emergency to figure it out. It's also a good idea to update the emergency contacts on your phone as well. I'm Rich DeMuro, News Nation, Los Angeles.
I was out at Steamboat Rock State Park a few months ago, and I tried using that, guys, because there's like zero reception out there. And I couldn't figure it out. I suddenly felt like my mom or dad. Just like, I don't know.
Why am I getting the feeling that we have absolutely no idea?
Yeah.
What these things are actually capable of, and we're using like 5% of it. Every day there's something that comes out. Oh, you're not using your camera the right way. Oh, there's this setting. Oh, there's this. Like, I had no idea that was even a thing.
I was literally just tinkering with my phone during that, and I was figuring out you can change the little on the iPhone, the little kind of side button from silencing the ringer to you can turn on your flashlight with it. There's all sorts of other functions. So they're always adding something new.
I could barely figure out which way to swipe side whatever to get to the do not disturb thing on when I've got to do like a live report or whatever. It's so good. I'm like, it's like, I know this thing is probably, there's maybe a reason why it costs $18,000 for one of these things now.
I got mine for 17.
Oh, good. Yeah. But there's just so many capabilities. I had no idea that those were there.
Quick word here. We're kicking off the 2026 Seahawks season with a preseason home opener August 15th. We want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch in person. All you need to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app on that phone we've been talking about. If you don't have the app, you just simply text the word app, APP, to 888-973-5476. We'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, August 3rd. 6:23 now. Let's check traffic on the 3s with Chris Sullivan.
Well, right now, about the only issue we have is for drivers on southbound 405, right around Sunset, right there at the landing in Renton. Getting reports that we have a lane blocked for, we're not sure what kind of debris is in the roadway, but something's in the roadway there, and we're seeing a backup down the hill. There's also a little bit of slowing in the northbound direction in and around that same general area. So pad 1 or 2 minutes into your drive right in that corridor. I'll have more for you on 10 to see if I can get eyes on exactly what this debris is. I know earlier this week we had at least one mattress on the road during morning commute, so we'll see what that is. Renton to Bellevue is running under 20 minutes, though, and we're under 20 from Bellevue down to Renton. Valley Freeway, about 40 minutes from end to end. Not too bad there. Federal Way to Seattle is under 40, though we're starting to see a little action past the West Seattle Bridge. Coming down from the north end, still a pretty good drive. I mean, there are breaks right there in Northgate, but overall, by most days' standards, under 40 from Everett to Seattle, about 35 from Everett to Bellevue. The Highway 18 corridor looks good, 16 looking really good. We do have a little slowing through the construction zone there westbound into Port Orchard. Olympia to Tacoma, brake lights up the Nisqually Hill heading up towards Mounts Road, but 40 minutes to get you to Tacoma is pretty good. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Forecast looks like it'll be nice and sunny and warm today, 83 the high. A few showers and a little breezy tomorrow. Also mixed with sun breaks. High of 72, 71 on Sunday. Might have some morning showers. We start to dry out and warm up just in time for the work week. Right now in Seattle, it's 55. Coming up, more of the day's top stories, including Luke Ducey on the forced resignation of Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes. There's a bunch of pushback. We'll also have the opening bell report here on Seattle's Morning News.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Progressive provides protection for your boat and other outdoor vehicles so you can explore new things.
Oh, I can finally try pesto.
We meant like water skiing.
I've just never had pesto.
Or maybe take the boat somewhere new.
I mean, is pesto spicy or sweet? Oh, guess we'll find out, right?
Right. Bundle home or auto insurance with your boat, RV, or motorcycle and stay protected with Progressive while you explore.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for pesto.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. And Lionel Richie. The tour continues. Seattle, you're invited to sing a song all night long. Lionel Richie and Earth, Wind, and Fire. Climate Pledge Arena, August 3rd. Get tickets starting at $34 at livenation.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Tune in to elevate your wealth. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, you do not have the time to deal with a market downturn.
With Mark Stimson and Casey Elkins.
It's important that you know what the rules are, because if you don't, you can make some tremendous decisions that could adversely affect you, and you may not be able to go back and fix it.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth, Saturdays at 11 a.m., right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
From Seattle City Council members to the Police Officers Guild, criticism is pouring in over Police Chief Sean Barnes' resignation. Good morning, I'm Charlie Harger. These critics say Mayor Katie Wilson's decision to ask Barnes to step down was wrong and reckless. Joining us live is KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey, who has more from Seattle's black community leaders who warned the mayor not to get rid of Barnes.
Bishop Reggie Witherspoon with Mount Calvary Christian Center tells me during their 45-minute meeting with the mayor yesterday morning, he and several other groups from the NAACP, church, parent, and other organizations warned Katie Wilson twice not to fire Sean Barnes or ask for his resignation.
She listened well, made some comments at the end, and we admonished her again, and we can only hope that she makes the right decision.
Of course, Barnes' resignation comes just 4 days after the deadly gang-related mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle. 2 innocent people killed, 4 injured, including that 2-year-old boy. Yesterday afternoon, Barnes released a statement through a law firm. He was surprised by the mayor's request, but he expressed his dedication and appreciation to the city. In a taped statement on social media, Katie Wilson thanked Barnes for his service.
Chief Barnes came to Seattle with a genuine belief in community policing as a philosophy. He arrived with a clear vision of what a department grounded in trust and accountability could look like.
But Wilson never shared why she asked him to resign, and she never seemed to take responsibility for what she called a miscommunication between SPD and her office on the night of the shooting, or that the city waited 5 hours to inform the public about more suspects on the loose, including another possible shooter. Police Union President Kent Liu is criticizing the mayor's administration, saying it's, quote, delivered confusion, mixed messages, and chaos surrounding Chief Barnes. He said Barnes was under the impression that he was fired, and that's what multiple other sources told us as well. City Council member Rob Saka says he is extremely disappointed by the mayor's decision.
I think a decision of this impact, severity, and consequence should have been communicated in advance to all 9 council members.
He was not informed, he said. He also expressed a high level of confidence in Barnes, and so did council members Joy Hollingsworth, Dan Strauss, Deborah Juarez, and Bob Kettle, and Marissa Rivera as well, who issued a joint press release that said they're disappointed to see Barnes go and that they stand with those black community organizations that came together to confront the mayor. Bishop Witherspoon told me during their meeting with Katie Wilson she never told them if she even fired Barnes or not, much like the confusion felt by the police union.
We don't know. We don't. She didn't say. So, she certainly didn't let that come out of her mouth, so we don't know.
Witherspoon also told me the mayor would not even talk about whether she was asking him to resign. The mayor will introduce interim chief Andre Sales at a press conference today at 11 a.m. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to dive into Wilson's decision and what she said in her taped statement, because What you're going to notice is she never really took responsibility for any of those communications issues during Sunday's shooting. Instead, a lot of finger pointing. More on that coming up. But Charlie, I also asked Bishop Witherspoon for his impressions of the mayor after meeting with her, and he said at the time that she was cordial and he would wait to answer my question after she made a decision. Well, she's made it. He added she better make the right decision or there will be more action on their part, so more to come on that front as well.
Okay, and if you listen at work or you're out at the road at 11 this morning, we will have that press conference live here on KIRO News Radio. Meantime, the 15-year-old arrested in that shooting chose not to appear in court yesterday.
That teen is charged with first-degree assault with a firearm enhancement and second-degree unlawful possession of a firearm. Note, he is not charged with murder or manslaughter. Investigators do not believe the deaths were connected to the gun they found on him. The King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office has asked that the teen be tried as an adult and, quote, a respondent cannot be arraigned until the jurisdictional issue is resolved, end quote, which means he might not enter a plea for months.
That's L. Thomas reporting from KIRO 7 TV. It's time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes with Chris Sullivan.
Well, the obstruction, whatever it was, they have removed from the southbound lanes of 405 at Sunset. Right there, the right lane was blocked for a little bit as they were moving whatever it was out of the way. We still have a little backup to deal with past the VMAC. 20 minutes from Bellevue to Renton was a little bit behind schedule. Going the other direction, we do have a typical 20-minute drive from Renton to Bellevue. The brake lights there right by the Maple Valley Highway, but after that, pretty good. Valley Freeway, only 40 minutes from end to end. Federal Way to Seattle, about 40. We're starting to see some action past the West Seattle Bridge. Coming up from Olympia, not too bad. Some braking up the Nisqually Hill towards Mounts Road, but about 40 minutes to Tacoma's pretty good. Coming down from the north end, over 40. Everett to Seattle, about 40 from Everett to Bellevue, so pretty typical day out of Snohomish County. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Sunny, 83 the high in Seattle today. We cool down tomorrow. Might even have a couple showers if you're headed out to the hydros or in the Stan Sayers pits. Clouds and maybe some drizzle, maybe some rain. High of 72 tomorrow, 71, a little bit drier on Sunday. Right now, downtown, it's 56.
From ABC News Wall Street Now. Apple is warning investors that a scarcity of parts to build its devices may crimp sales growth this quarter. The caution flag was posted even as Apple has regained the title of world's most valuable company from chipmaker NVIDIA. Consumers are still spending, but paying 3.7% more than they did a year ago, according to the inflation gauge most watched by the Fed. Second quarter gross domestic product grew at just 1.5%. The self-initiated data breach carried out by a pair of OpenAI models might not be an isolated incident. Anthropic has disclosed that its Claude AI models also gained access to the internet and sneaked into the systems of 3 organizations. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Amazon's cloud business is on a tear. The company's latest earnings report shows revenue topping $200 billion last quarter, 20% above last year. Amazon's cloud division led the gains, growing nearly 37%. CEO Andy Jassy says the AI boom is just getting started.
We continue to be in the middle of some of the biggest inflections of our lifetime. And we're building multiple new long-term businesses that will make customers' lives better and easier.
Amazon plans to pour $220 billion into infrastructure this year alone. Shares jumped about 9% after hours. Gasoline is again topping $4 a gallon. Americans are rethinking vacation plans and consolidating trips around town. ABC's Jim Ryan says the nation's ongoing war with Iran gets the blame for the latest rise in gas prices.
As consumers face the pain at the pump, the nation's major oil and gas companies are celebrating massive profits, also a byproduct of the U.S.-Iran conflict. ExxonMobil reported second quarter profits of $14.5 billion, up 105% from the same period a year ago. Chevron's profit from April to June was nearly quadruple the second quarter of 2025.
The Bureau of Economic Analysis this week released the Gross Domestic Product Report. Elizabeth Schulze from ABC News has more.
What this report showed was growth is slowing down. So when you look at the numbers, the second quarter, the economy grew at an annual rate of 1.5%. In the quarter before, we saw that number closer to 2%. And we've been around that number for kind of a while. So it's a slowdown. It's not drastic. And it's worth pointing out that when you kind of dig into the details here, The biggest part of what drives the economy is consumers. And what this shows is consumers are still spending. We know that prices are up across the board for a lot of day-to-day goods. A big part of that has been the spike in oil prices caused by the Iran war. But even with higher prices, consumers are still spending, and that is continuing to power overall growth. Not as fast of a pace, though, as we've seen in the past. And these numbers released by the government show prices are still rising at a faster pace than you'd want to see in a healthy economy. And actually, there are signs that what's happening is that consumers are dipping into their savings to try to pay for some of these higher prices, whether it's gas, groceries, utilities, other, day-to-day essentials.
We told you how Amazon had positive earnings reports. Well, the stock is just going ham this morning, up 13.7% as opening trades begin. On Wall Street in general, the Dow is up 215 points. That's 0.4%. S&P 500 is ahead by 32. And the NASDAQ is up 218. That's 0.9%. A word here for KIRO 7 TV. Today is KIRO 7 Cares Christmas in July one-day toy drive. Help KIRO 7 TV get a jump start on holiday toy donations. It benefits the Salvation Army and Toys R Us all day until 6:30. Come say hi to the KIRO 7 news team and some special guests. Donate a new unwrapped toy at the Auburn Fred Meyer. You can also give online at KIRO7.com/July. Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the unusual slowing southbound 405 in Renton. We'll tell you why next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps." Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at LifePointLaw.com. That's LifePointLaw.com.
It's 6:43. We check traffic every 10 minutes on the threes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we're down to just a couple of minute delay, Charlie, on southbound 405 away from the VMAC down into Renton. We had an obstruction blocking the right-hand lane for about 10 minutes. It took a little while to get it out of the way, but it's gone. All the lanes have reopened there by Sunset where this was, and we're back down to about 15 minutes from Bellevue to Renton. Going the other direction, we've got a pretty typical Friday light drive for you guys, 20 minutes or less to go from Renton on up into Bellevue. The Valley Freeway behind that, 40 minutes, kind of a standard day for you guys. Same deal. Federal Way to Seattle, about 40, maybe 42, depending on how you hit the volume right past the West Seattle Bridge. Coming down from the north end, we do have heavy brake lights during the forced merge or at the forced merge in Northgate down past the Lake City Way interchange. You're going to need about 42, 43 minutes to go from Everett into Seattle. Under 40 from Everett to Bellevue. Even the brake lights in Canyon Park are not as bad as they could be. Lake bridges are fine. 16 and 18 are also in very good shape. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss the biggest event of the year, T-Mobile Park 50 Season Celebration Night on August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets, mariners.com.
Sunny and 83 today. If you have weekend plans, just a heads up, we're going to have highs 70 to 72 degrees in Seattle with clouds and a chance of showers, especially on Saturday. 55 right now downtown. Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden with our weekend planner. That's next on Seattle's Morning News.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
KIRO News Radio is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the KIRO Newsradio app or visit mynorthwest.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's mynorthwest.com/win.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Entering the first weekend of August, and if you're still looking for something fun to do, KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden has you covered.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
What?
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
What?
July is coming to a close, and that means the countdown is on to get all those things on your summer bucket list crossed off. It's another busy weekend in our region, so let's dive in and see what things are going on. The big show, of course, is Seafair, as the Blue Angels will take to the skies, and the Hydros will hit the water for 3 days of high-octane action this weekend. Admission to Friday's Boeing Air Show is free, courtesy of Windermere, but you'll need a ticket for Saturday and Sunday's show. Friday's hydroplane races, also free, courtesy of Windermere. But remember to keep your eye on the weather this weekend. There's a chance of rain. Get all the details you need about parking, schedules, tickets, and more at Seafair's website. There will be live music, a kids zone full of free activities, a vendor village, and plenty of food and drinks at the Magnolia Summerfest, which runs through the weekend. Tonight, there will be a free showing of The Sandlot. Saturday will feature a parade starting at 10 a.m., and Sunday on the big stage will be the talent show. The Magnolia Summerfest starts today at the Magnolia Playfield. Check out a micro music festival at one of Ballard's most beloved locations, Mike's Chili Parlor. This event is described as a festival in, by, and for Ballard and highlights artists from the Ballard music scene, including 14 acts in total across 2 stages. Your ticket will get you into both days, but the event is 21 and up. You can buy an advance ticket or get an old school physical ticket from Will Call. While you might be looking to the skies to see the Blue Angels this weekend in Tacoma, you'll find kites taking over the sky for the Kite Festival. From 10 to 4 on Saturday at Chambers Creek Regional Park, you'll see hundreds of kites in the sky flown by amateurs and professionals alike. There will be kite flying demonstrations, family kite flying, inflatables, vendors, food trucks, and plenty more. Don't have a kite to fly? Good news, you can buy and build your own kite kit at the event. There will also be 250 kites given away thanks to the Pierce County Kite Flyers Association. It's free to get in, but you will need to pay to park. You've probably heard of the Fremont Troll, but walk around the neighborhood on Saturday and you'll also see some goblins. Saturday at the Fremont Abbey Arts Center is the Goblin Guild Bazaar from 12 to 5. There will be over 40 vendors to shop from, plus goblin face painting and a goblin costume contest where the next Lord of the Goblins will be crowned. The Goblin Guild Bazaar is free to attend. There's also a variety of festivals running this weekend, including the Emoja Fest, which delivers music, food, culture, and family fun at Judkins Park on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday from 10:30 to 9 is the Lake City Summer Festival and Parade, which includes a car show, a petting zoo, over 100 craft vendors, live music, food, and of course a parade. The Bothell Night Market is tonight at Bothell City Plaza, and the Redmond Arts Festival will have 60 art booths and live entertainment in the courtyard of Redmond Town Center on Saturday and Sunday. It's a busy sports weekend here in Seattle. The Mariners are taking on the Twins to kick off a big homestand heading into the trade deadline. It's also a weekend full of great promos, including Aloha Shirt Day on Saturday and Super Mario Day on Sunday, complete with a Julio Rodriguez bobblehead giveaway right out of the Mushroom Kingdom. Also in the world of sports, the Tacoma Rainiers have a 4-game series against the Sacramento River Cats at home, and the Seattle Seahawks training camp continues. Tickets are available to all these events. What are you getting into this busy weekend? Let me know at PaulH@KIRORadio.com. Paul Holden, KIRO News Radio.
Plus a big concert this weekend in Seattle.
I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do.
Ed Sheeran takes the stage at Lumen Field tomorrow for his Loop Tour. Now, Sound Transit is adding special Sounder train service to help move concertgoers in and out of downtown. Show begins at 5:30. Extra trains will run from both Everett and Lakewood, with return service scheduled about 45 minutes after the show ends. Then on Sunday, the Sounder will be available after the Mariners game. Should say before and after. First pitch is set for 1:10 on Sunday, and again, return trains will leave about 45 minutes after the game ends. Sully, I did this after going to a Mariners playoff game last year. It's fabulous.
Took the heavy rail, did you?
Took the heavy rail, and I'm telling you, you walk onto that train after, of course, paying for it, because I pay for it.
Unlike light rail, where
well,
you don't pay for it, like everyone else.
I pay for light rail as well, but it's super convenient. It goes like 45 minutes, so you can kind of leisurely walk out of the stadium and walk right over to the Sounders station. Highly recommended if you haven't
it's
done
not
it.
like the crush to run to light rail, which everyone does.
It's brutal.
Which leads to a lot of the reasons why people don't pay after games. But yeah, the heavy rail, I've heard nothing but really good things from people who use it from the north end up and out of my neighborhood.
Yeah,
so
we're just very civilized when we ride the heavy rail.
True.
Not the light rail
you say
people.
It. Dig yourself a hole, Charlie. Dig yourself a hole.
We're headed to the fancy place of Auburn.
Yeah.
Just on that train. If you want to find out more, we will have that posted at mynorthwest.com. Also going on this weekend, I don't know if Paul mentioned it, we have the Thurston County Fair that goes through Sunday. What's your favorite fair food?
I don't know. I don't go to fairs much anymore.
What?
No. I mean, Tommy's adult, and I don't go as an adult.
You don't like petting the animals?
No. I'm trying to cut down on salmonella. No, I mean, in a weird situation, I might get an elephant ear.
Elephant ear. Okay,
but
bold choice.
Yeah, just something like. But they're just so big and greasy sometimes. But
that's about everything.
The problem is that I could really only want like a third of it.
Yeah.
But
they are massive.
In my massive size, I just keep pounding it.
What about you, David? What's your go-to?
I always am tempted by the smell of the big, fried curly fry, brick.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll get one of them, and you can't even get halfway through.
No,
it's
you can't.
a mess. But those first few bites are very good. So
scones, you guys, you seem like you.
Scones are a little dry for me. I also in high school worked the scone booth at the Kitsap County Fair, and still have some bad flashbacks from that.
Got it. All right, 6:53. Check traffic on the 3s. Chris, where do we start?
We're going to start in the Northgate area where we have the brake lights there through the forced merge and the loss of the express lanes. Give yourself about 5 or 6 extra minutes there as you work your way from about the golf course down Jackson. That is not the Nile. It's not backed up that far. From about 145th down past the scene. But it doesn't really meander that far beyond Lake City Way. You actually pick up the pace heading down into Mercer. So overall, about 42 to 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle, depending on how you hit it. And we're about 40 or maybe under from Everett to Bellevue. The brake lights there are right at the merge at 522. So not too bad out of Snohomish County. Even westbound across the Trestle is manageable. And southbound 9 through the Snohomish River Bridge construction zone there in Snohomish, not too bad either. Same with 522. So pretty decent up there. Coming up from the south end, pretty much same deal. Friday light. Got Olympia to Tacoma at just under 40 minutes. There are some brake lights up to DuPont, really up through the Mounts Road area. And then Pierce County is quiet. A little bit of braking at Highway 18 going northbound on I-5, and then Federal Way to Seattle, a little over 40 minutes, maybe under, depending on how you hit it right there at the West Seattle Bridge. It's just kind of a volume equation. Rented to Bellevue is about 20. Valley Freeway is 40 or less. So all in all, we're in a pretty good spot. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Sunny today, a high of 83. If you do have weekend plans, just be aware we could have some showers and clouds for much of tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Some sun breaks as well, but it'll be cooler than it has been. 72 the forecast high tomorrow, 71 on Sunday. Right now, it's 55 in Seattle. Coming up, more on the forced resignation of the Seattle Police Chief, Luke Ducey, on the way.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear the John Curley Show, 3 to 7.
If 20 people were asked to choose toppings for a pizza, and the majority were not asked to pay for any of the toppings, they would probably choose, the majority would, the most delicious and therefore the most expensive. Government should list the price of the toppings and everybody should pay something. We are ruled by the ignorant, elected by the ignorant, and that is the case.
Watch live or later on the John Curley Show's YouTube channel. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
You bought an RV and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizzy.com or 1-866-SKY-RIZZY.
Washington drivers share the road with thousands of semi-trucks, but new reporting and federal investigations have unveiled that as many as 1 in 5 of those trucks are operated by chameleon carriers, trucking companies that rack up crashes and safety violations only to close and reopen under a new name with a clean record. If you've been injured in a trucking accident, time may be running out to recover. Call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888 or visit davislawgroupseattle.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
KIRO News Radio is your chance to win 2 tickets to see Santana and the Doobie Brothers White River Amphitheater August 6th. Head to mynorthwest.com/win to enter and see contest rules. That's mynorthwest.com/win for your chance to win.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A migrant crisis unfolding in Spain as 60,000 people are believed to have rushed the border between Morocco and the Spanish enclave of Ceuta, trying to claim asylum.
Around border fences or using boats. A number of them we know have drowned. Officials say they know about at least 19 people who've died. Spain has deployed its military to try and restore order here.
The death toll has now grown to 34 people, says ABC's James Longman. It's believed about half of those who crossed the border have now returned back to Morocco. A bus crash in Algiers, Algeria this morning has left 25 people dead, more than 40 hurt, the bus plunging into a deep ravine. President Trump claims a deal has been reached for Hamas to disarm and destroy its tunnel network in Gaza and for Israel to withdraw its forces. A heat dome is settling in over the west, downtown Los Angeles under an extreme heat warning from Friday through Sunday. An all-time high temperature could be set in Las Vegas this weekend. This is ABC News. Seattle's police chief is out of a job following the mass shooting at a food festival that left 3 people dead. ABC's Alex Stone explains.
Public anger grew against Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes and Seattle's mayor over the city's response to the shooting and the lack of basic information that came from the city in the hours after the shooting. The chief, who was appointed in Seattle in late 2024 with the goal of modernizing and rebuilding the police department, has been under scrutiny for his lack of ties to the city and frequently leaving town. Reports emerged on Wednesday the mayor had asked Barnes to resign. On Thursday afternoon, that resignation letter was made public. Alex Stone, ABC News.
President Trump holds a cabinet meeting today, but it won't be at the White House where it usually is. He's taking those in top administration positions on a road trip to Camp David, which every president since FDR has used. President Trump predicts it will be a, quote, lot of fun and something different for the cabinet to experience together. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
At 7:02, here's what's happening. As you just heard on ABC News, Police Chief Sean Barnes is out. Council President Joy Hollingsworth calls it a reckless decision by the mayor. Mayor Wilson will explain her decision at 11 this morning. We will carry that live on KIRO News Radio. State Superintendent Chris Rakedahl is blasting a Trump administration demand for information on Washington's transgender student policies. He calls it a sham and a media stunt. And a suspect in the killing of a 19-year-old in Parkland is back in U.S. custody. He was tracked down in Mexico. Time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes with Chris Sullivan.
Charlie, we're enjoying a Friday light out there across the board. There are some spots where you are going to hit the brakes. I think you can probably guess where they are, but overall, the travel times are not bad. For those of you coming down the I-5 corridor, heading through Shoreline down into Seattle, you will see the brake lights right there at 130th, past the forced merge in Northgate. But the further south, past Lake City Way and 85th and whatnot, you're going to be in pretty pretty good shape going the rest of the way. So the travel time is 45 minutes or less from Everett to Seattle, which isn't bad. And we're about 40 from Everett to Bellevue as you hit the slowing there from about Canyon Park down through 522. But it's more yellow than red on the map, which means you're moving. Northbound I-5, Olympia to Tacoma. We've cleared out the braking through DuPont, so it's back to 35 minutes or less to Tacoma. And Federal Way to Seattle's under 40 or less up the Valley Freeway, too. So that's great. Renton to Bellevue. The S-curves are actually in really good shape, so let's keep that going. We're under 20 to get you up into Bellevue, and the lake bridges are quiet. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning. It's 7:04. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off. Criticism pouring in over former Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes' resignation. A lot of questions swirling around a new videotaped statement from Mayor Katie Wilson explaining delays in communications and what happened the night of that shooting at the Bite of Seattle. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is following all of it and joins us live.
Yeah, let's dive right in. After that shooting at the Bite of Seattle, where 2 innocent people were killed and 4 people injured, including a 2-year-old boy. It was a gang-related mass shooting. Well, during her videotaped statement that she put out on social media yesterday, Wilson said SPD acted with speed and professionalism at the scene there at Seattle Center. But when it came to informing the public that there was a shooting, they were looking for more suspects on the loose as well. This is what she said.
Our after-action review of the city's communications with the public and the media revealed real gaps. Information could and should have gone out much faster through social media, the emergency alert system, the SPD blotter, and/or an off-site press conference. The public should have heard sooner about outstanding suspects and the status of the Seattle Center campus.
You heard her mention in that statement the mayor should have used communications tools like Alert Seattle to inform people. But in a press conference on Monday, she said that she could not use that tool. In the video statement, she reversed that, but blamed a miscommunication between departments, not her office, for not using that tool.
Earlier this week, I should not have defended the fact that the city did not use Alert Seattle. Through our review, I have learned that there was a miscommunication between departments that resulted in no alert going out when it would have been a good tool to use.
When it came to holding a press conference early Sunday night, maybe an hour after the shooting, instead of waiting 5 hours after the shooting.
I also want to name that there was miscommunication between SPD and my office about the timing of a press conference late in the evening between 9:45 and 10:45 p.m.
And this needs clarification, too, because sources tell us Seattle police were ready to go with a press conference early after those moments of the shooting. A police public information officer also told media at the scene instead they were waiting for dignitaries to arrive at the scene, including Governor Bob Ferguson and Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. Wilson has denied that claim that they were waiting for dignitaries repeatedly. Governor Ferguson then revealed his text messages with Wilson that night, which showed he was going to be at the scene well before the 11 p.m. press conference that was held, and his office said they had nothing to do with any delays. A day later, Wilson said SPD was still clearing a building there at the scene, the nearby IMAX Theater, and that's what caused the delay in the press conference. Well, now she's blaming a miscommunication between her office and SPD, so we still need clarification from her about which reason is the right reason. Finally, about the lack of communication to the public in general.
What I did not fully understand in that moment was how little information had reached the public or the press since the incident began at 6 p.m. Had I known that, I would have pushed for an immediate briefing rather than waiting for a press conference to be organized. The frustration that was directed at elected officials arriving that evening was understandable, and it was frustration that had been building for hours.
Which begs a lot of questions, Charlie, that hopefully we'll get answers to during an 11 a.m. press conference today when she introduces the new interim chief, Andre Sales, who will rises through the ranks to that interim chief role right now. Questions like, why and how did the mayor not know that there was very little communication going out that night? Is her office not paying attention? Do they have a communications plan or not? Does that mean the mayor is not really in control, especially during incidents like this? Or is the organization and communication in the city between the mayor's office and other departments like SPD so messy that no one has any idea what the other is doing or not doing? Coming up also in the next half hour, city council members are calling the mayor's decision to ask for Barnes' resignation wrong and reckless. But again, those questions, Charlie, we need answers to those.
Well, and let's zoom out for a minute, because we do get the question on the text line. I've even had friends ask me, why are you making such a big deal of a press conference? Isn't it important for them to have all the facts ready to go before having a press conference on Sunday night? And what I don't think people fully grasp is that thousands of people were evacuated from Seattle Center. Many were sheltering in place. They were hiding and did not know if a shooter was still on the loose, if their lives were in danger. And that was not communicated to people who were terrified that something had happened. I mean, I think of somebody like Sully. His son was there. Sully, you were on the air terrified about what your son would be doing.
And whether or not I could give him any information that any all clear had been given, that he could that they could leave the unfamiliar place they had hunkered down in for a little bit with their friends, to, whether it was okay to go back outside, or whether they could go back to his girlfriend's apartment, or there was nothing that I could share with him in real time that you would normally get in any other circumstance that we've all been involved in as breaking news reporters in our lives, that something would be out there. Yes, no, Tommy, you got to stay. No, you can't. No, get out of there. No, nothing. And I don't think that people understand. They appreciate why we're trying to make this is because that information was vital. I mean, just imagine if the worst happened, that someone was out there and continued to do bad things.
Well, at the time, all we knew was there was a shooting. We didn't know that it was a gang-related shooting between 2 or 3 or more people shooting back and forth at each other, which is bad enough. Yeah. But we didn't know what was going on. Our own Manda Factor walked down to the scene from her house. Had she known that there was a suspect or suspects still on the loose, and possibly one of them still armed, ran from the scene armed with a weapon and was involved possibly in the shooting, maybe she wouldn't have gone either. I mean, no one knew that information either about other suspects, and possibly one or more that were armed with guns.
And 5 days later, we still don't have that information, or don't even know how many guns are outstanding. But it sounds like at least 2 or 3 are missing from the scene.
And then seriously, your lead investigator is now gone.
Yeah, and I heard Kent Liu from SPOG say that the detectives still have all the tools they need, and they can continue to do this investigation, but this is just a massive communication failure, and it is something that I hope gets addressed in this 11 a.m. news conference. We will be carrying that live. I want to play for you what former King County Sheriff John Urquhart says. He says the mayor made the wrong call in firing Barnes, and he says it's going to be difficult to recruit a top-notch replacement. Here's what he said on the G and Ursula show yesterday.
Well, let me give you a little list here. John Diaz, Jim Pugil, Harry Bailey, Kathleen O'Toole, Carmen Best, Adrian Diaz, Sue Rahr, Sean Barnes. 8 police chiefs since 2009. The average 2 years. That's it. What police chief, what A-list person in their right mind would come to Seattle to be the police chief here under a brand new mayor that's got her own problems? That's the issue. Seattle deserves an A-list person. And I thought Sean was going to be that person. Mm-hmm. Certainly Bruce Harrell, who I have a lot of respect for, thought that. City Council approved him. They thought he was going to do the job. And something happened. And I think she really, really jumped the gun by firing him.
That is former King County Sheriff John Urquhart. Meantime, the 15-year-old arrested in the shooting chose not to appear in court yesterday.
That teen is charged with first-degree assault with a firearm enhancement and second-degree unlawful possession of a firearm. Note, he is not charged with murder or manslaughter. Investigators do not believe the deaths were connected to the gun they found on him. The King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office has asked that the teen be tried as an adult and, quote, a respondent cannot be arraigned until the jurisdictional issue is resolved, end quote, which means he might not enter a plea for months.
That's KIRO 7 TV's L. Thomas reporting. Time to check the weather. We expect to have sunshine today, 83, nice and warm. If you have outdoor plans, a lot of us do this weekend with Seafair and all. It's 72 with a chance of showers tomorrow, kind of breezy as well. 71 on Sunday. We clear out just in time for work to get back in session on Monday. 76 on Monday. Right now in Seattle, we have sunny skies. It's 58. Time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. Chris Sullivan is here.
And we are looking at a drive that's pretty good on this Friday. We're looking at just some heavy braking right around Northgate and a little bit south of Canyon Park, right near 195th and Beardsley. So overall, the travel times are under 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, depending on how you hit the volume. Right now, we're kind of in a little lull after the top of the hour, so now would be a good time to get out there. Northbound 167 does have heavy braking at the north end. A little over 40 minutes maybe to go from end to end from Puyallup up to Renton. Renton to Bellevue is about 20 minutes, so that's good. Lake Bridges are fine. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems. 16 looking really good at this point, back and forth between Port Orchard and Tacoma. Excuse me, 18 over the top of Tiger Mountain is not too bad. Yeah, I need an A-list doctor. Across the lake, we're still doing really good. I'm just kidding. My doctor's fine. I don't know. I just swallowed wrong. Looking at the lake bridges are fine. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Nationwide foreclosure filings spiked 21% in the first half of 2026 due to rising costs of living, the expiration of pandemic-era support programs. It's a trend that has left financially distressed homeowners vulnerable to what's called equity stripping scams, where fraudsters use public foreclosure records to target victims immediately. We're talking immediately after filings. Let's get more from ABC's Perry Russum. What is happening here, Perry?
Yeah, I think the best way to tell you what's going on is through the eyes of this woman named Vanessa that we met. Her dad lived in Mesa, Arizona. He was battling dementia when Vanessa started getting phone calls from this guy who said, "Hey, I'm your dad's new landlord." She had no clue what was going on. According to Vanessa, a company found out that her dad's home was in foreclosure, showed up to her dad's house and convinced him to sign over the property. Remember, this is all while he was battling dementia. Ultimately, they went to court and they reached an agreement where the man who runs the company admitted no wrongdoing. But still, Vanessa and her dad lost the house. And between the loss of the house and attorney's fees, Vanessa says her family lost between $100,000 and $150,000. The local company is now facing a lawsuit from the Arizona AG's office. They say the company was running what they call a racketeering enterprise impacting hundreds of homeowners. So they would get to a homeowner's door within 20 minutes of foreclosure documents being filed. The AG's office is accusing them of running equity stripping schemes where fraudsters try to convince a homeowner to sell their home well below the fair market value. They do that by convincing homeowners that they're there to help, when in fact they are there to take ownership of the house. In court documents, a lawyer for that local company said what they're doing was not equity stripping, but you put yourself in the shoes of these people who find out that their home is being foreclosed on. They are knocked off their feet. They're emotional trying to figure out what's going on. And then somebody on the other side of the door says, "Hey, I can help." And there's that inclination to automatically trust that person. But what we have to do is take a step back, use your analytical mind and go, who is this person? What do they want? And then really take time to make an educated decision on what you should do.
You're saying this is happening within a matter of minutes of the foreclosure being filed. How does that happen?
So all the information goes public. Whenever there's a foreclosure, most of the time it gets updated on the county's website. So what the AG in Arizona is saying is that people are literally sitting on their website waiting for new filings to be uploaded, and they quickly get to that person's house within 20 minutes and really capitalize on that person in that vulnerable position.
So that's happening in Arizona. Any idea how widespread this is?
Apparently, this is happening all across the country. This is similar thing happened 20 years ago that ABC News covered when foreclosure filings started going up. But foreclosure filings have spiked 21% in the first 6 months of this year compared to last year. And as we mentioned, much of that has to do with the pandemic. So, I mean, during the pandemic, there were fewer foreclosures, and there were programs in place to keep people in their homes. But now many of those programs are gone. They have lapsed. They are no longer around. And then add in the cost of living going up. That is why we're seeing these foreclosures increasing.
So a lot of us have parents of a certain age. If we are the child of, an elderly parent or somebody who might be vulnerable, what are some safeguards we can take and have in mind for mom and dad?
You really have to watch their finances. You have to watch when payments are made, when any payments are skipped. I mean, you look at Vanessa's case where her dad was battling dementia and payments could have lapsed there. The AG really told us you have to watch out for people who automatically show up to your house and say, "Hi, I can help." It's like, who is this person? How do they find out where I live? and how do they find out what my, economic situation is. And if you do find yourself in a position like that, or your parents are in a position like that, they say turn to your state's attorney general's office, go to a licensed real estate agent, or there are some nonprofit legal services providers. There are also some calls to change laws that would tighten regulations targeting people without real estate licenses, that would penalize lawyers and title companies who might be involved in alleged schemes. And they're also trying to ban equity stripping that we already mentioned there.
All right. ABC's Perry Russum. Perry, important story. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Of course. Thanks for your time.
Washington Attorney General Nick Brown is pushing back against proposed utility rate hikes from Puget Sound Energy. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard.
Brown's office argues PSC's plan to raise electric rates by 29% and natural gas rates by 20% over the next 3 years is excessive and unreasonable. The Attorney General says customers could save hundreds of millions of dollars if the utility lowers profit margins and shifts some costs to shareholders. The proposal is now under review by the Washington Utilities and Transportation Commission. Katrina Gishard, KIRO News Radio.
A proposal from FIFA to bring in new investors is sparking sharp backlash. Here's ABC's Mike Dubusky.
You ask any soccer fan, and this year's World Cup was a pretty good one, all things considered. The teams were good, the matches were close. It was the first time the U.S., Canada, and Mexico hosted the event together, and even here in America, where soccer has struggled to take hold, watch parties were common. Bars playing games were full as people from around the world descended on cities across the country to take in the world's largest sporting event. But now, there's a new power struggle among the World Cup's organizers, and it could change the way this tournament looks forever. FIFA is a nonprofit. It has 211 member nations, and they all get a slice of money generated by the organization's big events, the biggest of which, of course, is the World Cup.
When the World Cup comes around every 4 years, this is how FIFA makes its money to sustain itself pretty much for the next 4 years. And the money that they raise as a non-profit organisation goes back into the game, and all these member associations are supposed to get their funds from FIFA, from the pot that is raised by the World Cup.
That's ESPN senior writer Mark Ogden. He says FIFA President Gianni Infantino has been pushing this new plan to make even more money with the help of private equity.
The proposal that Infantino has put is that they will create a new vehicle within FIFA called the FIFA Forward Enterprise, which would then take control of all the major events. Infantino is saying that they'll sell off a slice of that and it could raise up to $20 billion.
Now, there's already a familiar name lined up to bankroll all this, an investment group led by Joshua Kushner, the brother of Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law. Now, according to Infantino's plan, this would generate a lot more money for FIFA's members. Even smaller countries, smaller soccer federations that don't make it to the World Cup every year could potentially get $80 million worth of payouts, way more than they usually get. That might sound like a good thing for the sport, right? Well, not everyone's on board.
So UEFA is one of 6 continental confederations which feeds into FIFA. There are 55 UEFA members. It's the European Football Association, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Not just one country, but basically all of European soccer has come out against this. In a statement yesterday, UEFA said all 55 of its member nations would boycott FIFA-organized events if this plan goes through. That means major teams like France, England, and Germany, Spain, which just won the Men's World Cup this month, they're supposed to host the next World Cup alongside Portugal and Morocco. Poland is supposed to host a Youth World Cup this year. All of that could be off the table if Infantino's new plan goes into effect.
FIFA and Infantino know that UEFA basically pressed the nuclear button. That this was their nuclear option. If they're serious, then the Infantino plan is in tatters.
UEFA cited a number of reasons for the boycott, including a lack of communication and a desire to preserve the game. Some things are simply too important to sell, according to a statement from that organization. But there's also this big concern about corruption.
The cynical side of it is that maybe this money won't always go to the right, outlets. But 10 years ago, the reason why Infantino is now the president is because his predecessor, a guy called Sepp Blatter, was forced out in a corruption scandal.
And it's worth reiterating just how big a deal this would be. Infantino is one of the most important people in sports. The World Cup is watched by millions around the globe. UEFA is not alone in opposing this. CONCACAF, the federation made up of the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and Caribbean countries, also yesterday came out against this plan. Now, the rest of FIFA's members have until September 19th to decide what to do, but until then, fans will be waiting to see just how loud money talks.
That's ABC's Mike Dubusky with the Start Here podcast. Hey, you want to go to the Seahawks preseason game? We are giving away 4 tickets for the home opener for preseason, August 15th. And here's what you need to do. Open the KIRO Newsradio app. The entry opens right away when you open that app. You can enter today, you can enter tomorrow, you can enter Sunday, and you can enter Monday. Once a day, you can really improve your odds simply by going to the KIRO Newsradio app. If you don't have the app, you just need to download it, and you can text app, APP, to 888-973-5476. We'll send you a link to download. The contest runs through Monday, so get that entry ready. It's 7:23. It's time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes with Sully.
And we've added a few minutes to our travel times coming out of the Snohomish County area, primarily away from Linwood. We've jumped up to about 30 minutes from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue. The brake lights are pretty intense from about 1/30th past the Forest Merge in Northgate on I-5, and they're pretty heavy now from Canyon Park. It's really heavy down through 195th and Beardsley. So give yourself 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. That should pad enough time to make it where you need to go. The rest of the map, a lot more yellow than red, so that's great. Valley Freeway, about 42 minutes from end to end. The brake lights are the heaviest there, right around 180th, with all the weaving and merging as people jockey to go to 405. And then 405, the Renton S-curves are a little active, but not bad. I mean, you've got to give yourself 22 minutes to get you up to Bellevue. I think on most days that's a win. As we look at the drive coming up from the south end, we want to talk about a win. Our good friend Marguerite, who drives daily through Lacey, reaches out to us on the text line. She said it took her 23 minutes to go from the Nisqually Valley all the way up today, basically to go 22 miles. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, we're under a minute a mile. It's the way it's supposed to be. That's a huge win. So that's kind of what we're getting out there. Federal Way to Seattle, a little over 40 minutes. The lake bridges are quiet, so let's keep this going. This report brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. Open a money market special online with 3.75 annual percentage yield. Full access to your money the entire time. Harborstone.com/money market. Insured by NCUA.
Sunny, 83 today. This weekend, kind of cloudy. Chance of showers both Saturday and Sunday. Maybe some sun breaks as well as you're out there at Seafair or the Thurston County Fair. Highs in the low 70s. Right now, it's 58. Coming up, Luke Ducey on the resignation of the Seattle police chief. And then my very serious and totally not tongue-in-cheek commentary about how we need to ban the Blue Angels.
Or, subtitled, Why Charlie Hates America. Coming up.
Sully! This is Seattle's Morning News. Word here for Closets by Design. If you're having one of those mornings where you're already behind, can't find what you need, your closet's a mess, your pantry is overflowing, your garage is basically unusable, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just most homes weren't set up to work the way we actually live. Closets by Design, what I didn't realize is it's not just closets. It's garages that finally allow you to park your car, a pantry you can actually use, laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, entertainment centers, mudrooms. They do everything. All custom built in their facility at Kent. They install it at your home. Custom designed for you. When things are designed right, your day just goes smoother with less clutter and frustration because everything finally has a place. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Thinking about a new roof or exterior upgrade, but worried about the cost? This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We've created our summertime savings event to make it simple and affordable. Save up to $3,000 off your exterior project or get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. And every qualifying GAF roof is backed by our lifetime Golden Pledge warranty. One call gets you started. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
The Boeing Classic welcomes the world's greatest golf legends to the Pacific Northwest, August 14th through the 16th at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge. Watch Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers compete for a $2.3 million purse at the only PGA Tour champion stop in the region. Bring the whole family and make sure to check out the Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BoeingClassic.com to get yours today.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:31. I'm Charlie Harger. Police Chief Sean Barnes is out, and now significant pushback from different members of the Seattle community. Breaking it all down for us is KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Sean Barnes announced his resignation yesterday afternoon through an attorney that is now representing him, saying he was surprised by the mayor's request, but he expressed his dedication and appreciation to the city. Wilson then made her own announcement on social media.
This afternoon, I received and accepted the resignation of Chief Barnes.
She thanked Chief Barnes for his service, but didn't share why she asked for his resignation. She also acknowledged a lapse in communication to the public on the night of the Bite of Seattle shooting, where 2 innocent people were killed and 4 others injured in that gang-related mass shooting, including a 2-year-old boy.
The public should have heard sooner about outstanding suspects and the status of the Seattle Center campus. We will be working with SPD to ensure that communications go out much sooner in the future, should anything like this happen again.
Much of the community leadership in this city, as well as city council, have gotten their elbows out since then. City Council President Joy Hollingsworth says now is not the time to replace the police chief in the wake of that shooting.
When a city is grieving and you are coming off of an emotional and traumatic experience, to make leadership changes in this moment can seem very irrational and a little bit reckless.
While Councilmember Maritza Rivera took it a step further, a little more pointed, she actually learned about Barnes' resignation not from the mayor, but from KIRO News Radio.
I think this was poorly handled and it shows for inexperience. I think the whole situation has been amateur, and I can't imagine how this looks or feels to our residents.
She also pointed out that Wilson, again, has not explained why Barnes is stepping down now. Hollingsworth, along with council members Dan Strauss, Bob Kettle, Deborah Juarez, all issued a joint press release as well yesterday afternoon, echoing those messages that they disagree with the mayor's decision. Councilmember Rob Saka also said in an interview with KIRO News Radio that we'll play for you later this morning that he is also disappointed. Now, in her taped video statement, Wilson also said that she promoted Deputy Chief Andre Sales to interim chief. There's a press conference scheduled for 11 a.m. today to introduce Sales to the public and to answer questions. There are going to be a lot of questions for the mayor. Will we get answers? Questions like, why did Wilson ask Barnes to resign? That's probably number one. Also, in that taped message, Wilson said if she knew on the day of the shooting there was little communication going out to the public, she would have done something about it, which begs other questions. You know, the buck stops with her. She is the mayor, so either she knew about it, and some sources say that she pushed pause on all communications that night until late Sunday night at 11 p.m., or if she didn't know, like she claims, why didn't she know? Again, she is the mayor, the one in charge. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, also, several black community organizations met with the mayor yesterday and warned her not once but twice not to ask for Barnes' resignation. She did it anyway. More on that coming up, Charlie.
Luke, we'll have that press conference live here on KIRO News Radio, 11 o'clock. Sully, take it away with traffic.
And we're doing okay out there, Charlie. We've got brake lights heavy in a couple of places, but you get into it quick, you get out of it quick. So much Friday light out there for most people, travel time-wise. If you're coming up the Valley Freeway, you are going to hit brake lights right around 180th, but overall, we're under 45 minutes to run from end to end. The Renton S-curves are a little active, and there's a little slowing up past the VMAC, but all in all, 25 minutes or less to make it up to Bellevue, so that's a win. Olympia to Tacoma, all green on the map, same with the drive all the way up to about the north end of Boeing Field. We're still under 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, which is fabulous. Now to the real stuff. You hit the brakes from 145th on down on southbound I-5. 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle, about 50 from Everett to Bellevue as well, with the brake lights before Canyon Park now extending down through 522. So heavy, not exactly Friday light up there, but better than most days. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan. As for your weather forecast, today we're going to have a pretty good day. Might actually be a better day to watch the Blues today than tomorrow. We're going to see a little more cloudiness and potentially some showers tomorrow. But today, expect a high of about 83. Pretty good day. Right now outside the Seattle studios of KIRO News Radio, we have 60 degrees.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Time for the 7:35 commentary. I owe the Seattle Times editorial board an apology. For years, I've defended the Blue Angels. Every August, people complain they're too loud, too disruptive, too military. I always rolled my eyes. It's one weekend, I'd say. Lighten up. Well, I was wrong. I read the Seattle Times' recent editorial about banning them, and I thought about it, and they've changed my mind. The Blue Angels don't belong in modern Seattle. Not because they're loud, not because they're military, because they're just too exciting. Think about what we're exposing people to. 6 FA-18 Super Hornets flying just a few feet apart at hundreds of miles an hour. The finest demonstration pilots on Earth. People call that inspiring. I call it reckless. I spent many summers in Seattle watching them fly. They hit those afterburners. I could literally feel the adrenaline flood through my body, and then the testosterone kicks in. It was terrible, those feelings. I'm 51 years old. I should be thinking about retirement planning. Instead, for about 20 minutes, I become absolutely convinced I, too, could land a fighter jet on an aircraft carrier. That's not healthy. The critics are right. No responsible city should expose middle-aged men to that kind of mental delusion. Not just us. Children are watching this. Little boys decide they want to become fighter pilots. Little girls decide they want to become fighter pilots. People stop mowing their lawns. Neighbors who haven't spoken in years suddenly stand shoulder to shoulder looking at the sky. Complete strangers point at the same thing. They smile at each other and say, "Whoa." For 4 terrible afternoons every summer, Seattle experiences an outbreak of shared joy. Well, not here, not in my town. We've spent years trying to become a calmer, quieter, more thoughtful city. Then 6 fighter jets arrive and undo all of that work in 20 minutes. The critics deserve an enormous credit for having the courage to finally say something. Enough. It's time Seafair evolved. Instead of afterburners, how about guided breathing? Instead of a sneak pass, a facilitated community conversation. Instead of 6 fighter jets, how about 6 hobby drones flown by conflict resolution specialists? Every few minutes, they can pause to remind us of the harm caused by plastic straws. Perhaps everyone could gather afterward in a small discussion circle to process their feelings. When you start looking around, the Blue Angels aren't the only problem around here. The hydroplanes, well, that's much too exciting as well. We could have kayak races. The Torchlight Parade encourages entirely too much civic pride. Worse, think of the carbon emissions from all those torches. And the Pike Place Market has employees throwing fish through the air. Well, those salmons have families. Have we considered their feelings? The city has become alarmingly entertaining. Seattle can do better. I know some people are going to hear this and accuse me of wanting to take all the fun out of Seafair. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. I just think we should replace excitement with appropriateness, wonder with deep reflection, adrenaline with mindfulness, and testosterone, that has no place here. And if one little boy leaves Seafair this weekend dreaming of becoming a Blue Angel, we've failed him. He should leave dreaming of being that. Instead, maybe he would dream of someday moderate a community listening session about everything we're doing wrong in Seattle. So yes, it's time to ban the Blue Angels. We must never speak of fun or excitement again. The words, "Holy moly, did you just see that?" must never be said to complete strangers. Bring in the hobby drones. And that's the Totally Serious 735 commentary for Friday, July 31st, 2026. You can text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Join the chat, YouTube Live at KIRO News Radio. Leave a comment at mynorthwest.com. Totally serious there, Sully.
I get it. Testosterone has no place in Seattle. I think we've come to prove that. So well done.
What's coming up in traffic?
We're going to take a look at the drive, which is Friday light across the board. The travel times are good. We'll run them all down for you coming up next.
Our founders believed that freedom wasn't just a word. It was a way of life. The freedom to move forward, the freedom to pursue what matters most, the freedom to live fully. But aging has a way of taking those freedoms away. That's why there's Longevity Medical Clinic. John Curley here. My best move was becoming a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic years ago, and second best move, getting my wife, Nicole, to join me this year. Stop guessing and start working with a doctor who knows your goals and get personalized care designed around you, not the average patient. Discover what's holding you back and what can help you thrive with longevity. Aging is natural, but some of the effects are undesirable, and you don't want to have to just accept it. So this year, as we celebrate 250 years of freedom, ask yourself a simple question. Are you living with the freedom you deserve? Get real answers about your health and get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. You're in charge of ordering boxes. Small boxes, big boxes, really big boxes. You're in charge of tape, labels, mailers, bubble wrap, extra bubble wrap, just for fun. You're in charge of warehouse cleaning and safety supplies. Good thing there's Uline. Thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline makes it easy because you already do enough. Uline. We warehouse for you.
It's 7:43. A lot of comments wondering if that was sarcasm or not.
Yeah, for those unfamiliar, I believe there is a beef-sized tongue planted inside of your cheek at this particular moment. Yes. Sarcasm.
Can you imagine me saying ban the Blue Angels?
No, I mean, that would be something ridiculous to put out there in the media. Oh, wait a minute, Seattle Times.
What's going on in traffic?
Oh, boy. Fortunately, nothing that serious either. I mean, we're doing pretty good out there today. Just some pockets. It is Friday light here and around. The brake lights where you hit them, you get them pretty intently, and then you get out of them pretty just as quickly. Like if you're coming down I-5, you get towards the forced merge, just past the Jackson Golf Course there, right past the forced merge. But now it kind of extends down to the U District. So a 50-minute clip to go from Everett to Seattle is really not all that bad. There's also a little bit in the Linwood area. I'm checking into that, see if there might be something that's blocking, but I haven't found it yet. For 405, it's from Canyon Park down through 522, and then after that, really not too bad. 50 minutes as well from Everett down into Bellevue. So that's pretty good. Rented to Bellevue, we've got about a 22-minute trip for you. The S-curves are very active, but by the time you're up at the Sunset, the landing exit, you're in pretty good shape the rest of the way. Valley Freeway, same deal. Under 45 minutes, probably closer to 42 to make that drive. Federal Way to Seattle is under 45 as well. Heaviest spot right by the West Seattle Bridge. The lake bridges are fine. 16 and 18 are in very good shape. Nothing from Olympia to Tacoma. So let's try to keep this thing going. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Well, it looks like if you are going to the Blue Angels show tomorrow, it's going to be the low show because a lot of clouds expected and maybe even some showers. High of 72 tomorrow, 71 on Sunday. Could have some sun breaks as well. Right now, it's Friday, and we expect a high of 83 today with a lot of sunshine. Maybe you can get out and enjoy the Blue Angels today as well. 83 the high. Right now in Seattle, it's already 60. Okay, well, giving some comments on the Blue Angel discourse. We'll hear from G. Scott. See what he thinks about the Blues coming up next on Seattle's Morning News.
All right, I'm very excited to be speaking with Phil Mitchell. He is a new advertiser on the show. He owns Sunset Auto Family. Phil, welcome.
Thanks, Jake.
I want to talk about something that I cannot stress enough, how valuable this is for anybody who's looking for a car. You guys do oil changes for life. What does that mean?
Well, basically, it means if you buy a car that qualifies for oil changes for life, we're going to give you 5 oil changes a year. And they're about $150 now. You know, oil goes up and down, but guess what? We're going to change the oil for as long as you own that vehicle on us.
Like you're saying, oil changes are $150. They're even more if you're driving a diesel. And so you hold on to a vehicle for 10 years, that's like $10,000.
Oh, it can be even more than that. We've got a guy that's been changing his oil since 1985. He's gotten more oil changes than the car cost, and we're still changing it for him because that's what we do. We're your lifetime dealer.
And this is what people are going to get at Sunset Auto Family.
That's right. Great service for as long as you own the vehicle.
Oil changes for life. Only at Sunset Kia in Auburn, Sunset Ford, and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Summertime means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, and more. So don't let your bank stop you from having fun. Free checking at WaFd Bank is the way to go. There are no minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Plus, you'll get spending tools and the latest technology to help you stay on budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states, so you have access wherever you are. Visit wafdbank.com to open your account. Additional fees may apply. Member FDIC.
KIRO News Radio is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the KIRO Newsradio app or visit mynorthwest.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's mynorthwest.com/win.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is from the G and Ursula show, 9 to noon here on KIRO News Radio. G's got, by the way, G.
What's up?
I'm kind of jealous because during your show, 11 o'clock, that Katie Wilson press conference is happening and you'll be carrying it live. Like every radio in town is going to be tuned to you.
So I literally, when I was coming up to get ready to talk to you guys, I just got a text message, and I promise you, and all it says was popcorn emoji. And then they asked me, "Do you have popcorn?" No, I'm serious, G.
Yeah.
I'll say this: if I'm Katie Wilson in that administration, I take no questions.
You think so?
I take no questions. I just do a presser, and I say what I got to say, and I'm out. Them questions going to be,
a little pointed. You know, I'm watching the TV news last night, and even the news anchors are calling her out. You know, they never share an opinion. And so when that's happening, it's going to be...
I know. News people on TV, when they start sharing opinions, like, wait, you actually said something that wasn't on the teleprompter? Anyway, hey.
Blue Angels, I just had my commentary, G. I was, completely serious about banning the Blue Angels, finally.
David, I thought I was coming in, and I said I wanted to talk to Charlie about this because is this something I agree on? And then I was downstairs, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, nah, I can't. If there's one thing that when I first moved here, besides it being green, besides the hills, how beautiful it is, the mountains out, all that stuff, besides all that, I got to tell you, the first time I saw Blue Angels in the whole Seafair weekend, I thought, oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Now, I've now been here. This is my 27th summer here in Seattle. Now, it's faded a little bit. I'm not as excited as I used to be, but there's a lot of things I'm not as excited about. That's a tradition here that you just can't give it. Like right now, if I ask you, tell me a memory about Blue Angels and what it has to do with you, all of us around here have a specific memory. Maybe it's with a loved one who is no longer here anymore. Nah, Charlie. And by the way, David Burbank did share with me that he said that part of your commentary, didn't hear it, by the way, he said part of your commentary was basically saying that Blue Thunders makes people like Sully and I feel like little kids. Is that kind of what you said?
Yeah, I mean, there's entirely too much adrenaline, too much testosterone. People,
Oh, you don't like that, huh?
Yeah, it's terrible, G.
That's right. He's an anchor in Seattle.
People seem to enjoy themselves watching this. They talk to strangers. We can't possibly do that.
Look, it's cool. I know the first time that I was in military school when the first time I saw Iron Eagle.
Oh, I love that movie.
Let me tell you guys something.
Louis Gossett Jr.
Do you guys know
Is it
how often we watched that movie? And then there's Top Gun. And as a matter of fact, I've been to the movie theaters, I think, 3 times since the pandemic, 3 or 4 times since the pandemic. And Top Gun Maverick was the first one that I went to go see.
Sully hasn't seen it.
Oh.
No. Nah.
I will say, everybody, I don't know, people say these things about Tom Cruise. He can kind of be different, a little strange. Tom Cruise is an incredible actor. And Tom and Maverick did not disappoint. DB, you see that?
I've not seen either. I haven't seen the original.
Oh, you haven't seen the original either. Okay.
You never seen the? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Now,
madness,
fair.
right?
Wait. But Sully, what is up with you, man? Bro, the fact that you have not seen Maverick, that is right up our alley. That is Gen X required.
There's something about I haven't seen a lot of the remakes of things or redos or ads because I don't want it to ruin the feeling I had when I saw them the first time because, I was a teen. The 80s and 90s were a different time in the world. Things were happening. I didn't want to ruin the experience, but I guess I don't know.
Hey, Sully. Same. I cannot stand. As a matter of fact, I'm one of those get off my lawns. Why you always got to do remakes? Leave our stuff alone. If you be original, like all of the greatest movies were in the 80s and 90s. I'd argue 80s, but anyways. But the Maverick. Oh,
there might be too much adrenaline and testosterone in it for Sully.
Maybe.
They did a great job.
Considering my age.
They did a great job. So where'd you land at, Charlie?
I landed that we should have kayak races instead of hydros.
This commentary must have been funny.
It's deadly serious, G. I'm known for my seriousness.
But here's the thing, though. What would Sam say, your son?
I think he would lose his mind. He actually went down to Lake Washington yesterday. He was with my daughter, and they were on a boat. They watched the Blue Angels fly over. It was so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Sam came home excited?
Oh, yeah.
So,
beaming.
So you don't want any other Sams to have that kind of experience?
Of course not. We're very serious people around here, G.
Well, I don't know.
Amanda's on the phone, by the way. She says I got to kick you out.
Hey, 11 o'clock. See ya.
Sully, take it away.
And we're working with 50-minute trips from Everett to Seattle, Everett to Bellevue, with 30 of those minutes away from Linwood. Brake lights right where they should be for what you've gotten used to, but they're better than most days, so the delay is not as bad. Federal Way to Seattle's running under 45. We're under 45 up the valley as well. And Renton to Bellevue is only 25. Not quite a half an hour there yet, though we have picked up some slowing in South Bellevue. Lake bridges are good. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Paul in Sammamish said the only thing missing from the commentary was a Serenity gong. I need to work on that.
Yeah.
Coming up, we'll have more of the day's top stories, including more on the resignation of Seattle's police chief, Sean Barnes. We'll have Luke Ducey with some insight into what's about to happen at City Hall. Remember, we'll be carrying that Katie Wilson press conference live at 11 right here on KIRO News Radio.
Subscribe to the Jake and Spike YouTube channel and watch live or later.
142 striking workers in Washington State have collected benefits for the unemployment that they're now entitled to, per law in Washington, worth $506,000.
I'm not crazy about it. I get it that it's great that you're standing up for workers, but there's no risk.
You're voluntarily saying, I'm going to step away
I'm
from
stepping
my
away.
pay, and I'd like somebody else to pay it. That doesn't seem fair.
Jake and Spike, weekdays noon to 3 on KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm spending my summer in a new Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid from Carter Subaru, and yes, I am officially spoiled. It is so comfortable, and as my first hybrid, the timing couldn't be better with high gas prices. And for a limited time, you can also get a 2026 Subaru Crosstrek starting at 1.9% APR. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 7/31/26.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
If your water heater's failing or running out too fast, we've got CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program. Get a new system starting at just $44.99 a month with lifetime repairs and maintenance included. Book your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
Ichiro is back, and he's trading base hits for long balls. 50 season celebration weekend kicks off with the all-new Alumni Home Run Derby presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. On Friday, August 7th, after the team takes on the Rays, see Ichiro step up to the plate against other former Mariners sluggers. Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Advanced Hair Restoration, the simple one-day hair loss solution that's guaranteed to regrow your own natural hair. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump saying U.S. negotiators have reached a deal in Gaza. Hamas would lay down its weapons if Israel agrees to withdraw from the territory. Nick Mulroy is former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East.
If this does happen, then this is a big deal for the 20-point peace plan and for the people of Gaza. It needs to happen. It should be a public acknowledgement. And they couldn't, of course, put those caveats on when they make those public acknowledgments.
Nearly 3 dozen migrants dying in a chaotic crossing. They were from Morocco trying to make it into Spain. The prime minister is visiting the enclave where it happened today. A heat dome settling in over the west. Las Vegas could reach a new record high temperature this weekend, and Oregon is on high alert for wildfires. New York's attorney general is suing the online betting platform Kalshi, saying the prediction market is essentially gambling because it's based on chance rather than skill. Kalshi describes it as sad political theater. This is ABC News. New details into the death of Nolan Wells, the 18-year-old who was found dead after a July 4th boat trip with friends in Mississippi.
Officials familiar with the investigation say the medical examiner has now completed the official autopsy, but it's not been made public. The report will be sent to a grand jury for review. The family's attorney says his team is analyzing audio tapes and ocean data from the day Wells disappeared to try to determine how he died.
ABC's Sophie Flay. People just aren't reaching for wine so much these days, it seems, and grape growers are taking drastic steps because of it.
California vineyard owners say they've been forced to rip out their grape crops or burn them because of slumping wine sales. They say they've removed thousands of acres, hoping to rebalance the market's oversupply. They blame the slump mostly on a shift in drinking habits. Studies show demand for wine has dropped significantly, especially among younger consumers.
That's ABC's Hannah Battah. I'm Sherry Preston. ABC News.
8:02 Friday morning. Here's what's happening. Seattle's police chief is officially out. Mayor Katie Wilson accepted Sean Barnes' resignation yesterday, but hasn't said why she asked for it. She is expected to explain at a news conference this morning at 11. We'll carry that live here on KIRO News Radio. The Washington Supreme Court says a wrongful death lawsuit against WSU can move forward over a fraternity hazing death that killed a 19-year-old in 2019. And a suspect in the murder of a Parkland teenager has been captured in Mexico. This after a months-long international manhunt. Time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes with Chris Sullivan.
And we have Friday light, Charlie, across most of our freeways. The places we're not getting that, 405 and southbound 5 away from Linwood. For 405, it's really heavy through Canyon Park, kind of a meandering down past 522. For I-5, it's from 145th down almost now into the U District. So we're over 30 minutes to go from Linwood and over 50 all the way from Everett for either one of those drives, which I know on a Friday light is not a great travel time, but compared to the hour and 20 to an hour and 30 we've been getting during most of our heavy commuting days, today's a win. So you're going to get through it okay. Rented to Bellevue, about a half an hour now, really heavy brake lights up past SR 900. Then after that, not too bad. Behind that, the Valley Freeway's been good all morning. Let's keep it going. 35, make that 40 minutes to run it. Federal Way to Seattle, under 45, probably closer to 40. Lake bridges are quiet at this point. Olympia to Tacoma looks really good. 16 and 3 look good up that side of the water. 18 looking really good over to Tiger Mountain and up to I-90. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Coming up on 8:04 on the Friday, July 31st, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off. From Seattle City Council members to the Police Officers Guild, criticism pouring in over the forced resignation of Police Chief Sean Barnes. They say Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson's decision to ask him to step down was wrong and reckless. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more from Seattle's black community leaders who warned the mayor not to get rid of Barnes.
Bishop Reggie Witherspoon, I talked with him yesterday. He's with Mount Calvary Christian Center. He tells me during a 45-minute meeting with the mayor yesterday morning, he and several other groups from the NAACP, church, parent, and other organizations around the city of Seattle, well, they warned Katie Wilson not once but twice during their meeting not to fire Sean Barnes or ask for his resignation.
She listened well, made some comments at the end, and we admonished her again, and we can only hope that she makes the right decision.
He also told me, though, get this, during their meeting, Katie Wilson never told them if she in fact fired Barnes or not, and he wouldn't commit, or she wouldn't commit to whether or not she would ask him to resign.
We don't know. We don't. She didn't say. So, she certainly didn't let that come out of her mouth, so we don't know.
Of course, Barnes' resignation comes just 4 days after that deadly gang-related mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle. 2 innocent people killed, 4 injured, including that 2-year-old boy. Yesterday afternoon, Barnes released a statement through a law firm that now represents him. He was surprised by the mayor's request, but he expressed his dedication and appreciation to the city. In a taped statement on social media, Katie Wilson thanked Barnes for his service.
Chief Barnes came to Seattle with a genuine belief in community policing as a philosophy. He arrived with a clear vision of what a department grounded in trust and accountability could look like.
But Wilson then described a miscommunication between SPD and her office on the night of the shooting that led to not sharing any information with the public until 5 hours after the shooting during a late-night press conference, and not telling the public there were more suspects, including another shooter, perhaps, on the loose until 17 hours later. Police Union President Kent Liu is criticizing the mayor's administration, saying it's, quote, delivered confusion, mixed messages, and chaos surrounding Chief Barnes. He said Barnes was under the impression that he was fired. That's what multiple sources told us as well, that Barnes said he was fired. City Council member Maritza Rivera did not mince words about her disappointment in Wilson.
It just was poor decision-making based on her lack of experience and incompetency.
Councilmember Rob Saka, echoing that, says the mayor never told him anything about it.
I think a decision of this impact, severity, and consequence should have been communicated in advance to all 9 council members.
He also expressed a high level of confidence in Barnes, and so did council members Joy Hollingsworth, Dan Strauss, Deborah Juarez, and Bob Kettle, who issued a joint press statement that said they're disappointed to see Barnes go and that they stand with those black community organizations that came together to confront the mayor. Wilson will introduce Interim Chief Andre Sales at a press conference today at 11 a.m. Also, she's supposed to take questions. We'll see what she answers. Coming up at the top of the hour, though, the bottom of the hour, Charlie, we're going to dive into Wilson's decision and what she said during that taped statement. She never really took responsibility for any of those communications issues she talked about during Sunday's shooting. Instead, a lot of finger pointing. So, again, we're going to break that down step by step coming up.
I'm reminded... in my career, there have been two major inflection points for Seattle mayors. We had the situation with Seattle Mayor Ed Murray, which forced his resignation. And then the next administration was Seattle Mayor Katie Durkin. What undid her administration, she didn't resign, but certainly was not on a winning path, was allowing Chaz and Chop to happen. It feels like we are at another inflection point at City Hall.
Yeah, and Jenny Durkin, a prosecutor in that moment too. And so she had expertise there in law enforcement, at least, and some experience. But yeah, and now we're dealing with a mayor who has no experience as a politician at all. And, you're hearing council members saying it's showing that lack of experience. But yeah, 11 a.m. press conference is going to be really interesting.
And we're going to have that live. It's just remarkable to see. Basically, most of the city council say this was a reckless and bad decision to do this. So
that's pretty powerful when the majority of councilors are coming together on this and saying the mayor is wrong.
And we'll have to be watching already rumblings of a no confidence vote from the council, which is symbolic, but it would be something to see from the Seattle City Council. Luke Ducey, thank you.
And it's not our only inflection points. If you think back, I'll leave it a little further. I mean, we had the WTO and what happened with Ann Kurlikowski, the chief at the time. And then if you think about the Williams case, the wood carver case involving the police that led to the consent decree and the police issues there. So there have been several along the way, but the last couple of years they've come really, really quickly.
They sure have.
Some ancient history there.
They sure have.
25 years ago.
I was just commenting with a reporter friend of mine. If you count when I was the news director at my college radio station, we go back like 30 years now. Norm Rice was mayor.
Oh, yeah.
And just the ups and downs in City Hall, and has so many of these guys and gals are unable to be reelected. It's going to be interesting to watch this 11
And of course,
a.m.
Mayor Nichols got fired because he plowed his street when everybody else was in the middle of a snowstorm. So there are degrees.
There are degrees. Luke Ducey, thank you. It's 8:09. We're hearing from former law enforcement about the travel schedule of former police chief Barnes.
King County's former top cop says Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes' travel was simply too much. Retired King County Sheriff John Urquhart told the G and Ursula show that Barnes spent roughly 47 days out of Seattle in about 6 months, attending conferences and events. Urquhart says big city chiefs are in demand, but the job still comes down to being physically present when crises hit.
There's lots of training you can go to, and it really takes self-control. You have to say, no, I need to stay here.
Urquhart says Seattle deserves an A-list chief, but constant turnover and political clashes make it a tough sell. James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, we've made it to Friday, the last day of July, the 31st. Manda Factor has the day off. I'm Charlie Harger. Sully is here checking traffic on the threes. Do you have golf going on over there or anything like that?
No.
They say it's not the biggest traffic day you've ever had.
The majors are over.
Okay.
We can start getting ready for the FedEx Cup here a little bit later on. But no, it's kind of a down week for golf.
Yeah, well.
So, no, I'm actually paying attention to my job. And taking pot shots at the mayor's office and the police chief's office.
What a long week.
Yeah.
It really has been.
Yeah, it's been a rough one.
Yeah, so hopefully we have a little levity for you on this Friday. Before we get to a very serious press conference at 11, again, we'll have that live here. Coming up this hour of the show, it's the Rick Risch Show. check in with Rick as we do every Friday, talking about the M's and maybe how they pull themselves out of this current tailspin. That's coming up shortly. Consumer man Herb Weisbaum will join us later in the hour. Advice for finding the best rates on dental procedures, and Paul Holden will have our weekend planner. It's coming up on 8:12 here on KIRO News Radio. Let's check the forecast, where we expect to have highs today in the low to mid 80s in Seattle. Overnight, we'll hit a low of 59. Tomorrow, kind of a change from what we've had the past few days. Cloudy and a chance of showers, maybe some sun breaks later in the day, but highs only 72 in Seattle. So if you're headed out for the Hydros or Blue Angels, just be aware it's not going to be a super warm one. 71, the forecast high on Sunday. We bounce back to the mid 70s by Monday, low 80s by Tuesday. Right now in Seattle, it's 61. Time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. And Sully, where do we start?
Well, you might remember about an hour ago, you probably don't, we've had a pretty busy show. I talked about there being a bit of obstruction of some kind blocking the right lane of southbound 405 at Sunset there, right at as you get into Renton. It cleared for a little while, but now they've got emergency crews back, and 2 of the 3 lanes are blocked on southbound 405, and they're doing emergency repairs. I seen DOT workers down on their hands and knees with grinders and with torches, and they're working on something, maybe an expansion joint there. But we've all of a sudden gone from a free and clear drive that direction to a 3-mile backup and about a 30-minute trip from Bellevue down into Renton. So plan on 15-minute delays getting down through that corridor until they can figure this thing out. Going the other direction, it's about a half an hour total from Renton to Bellevue, maybe a little under because it's not too bad in Bellevue at this point. Valley Freeway, we've got about 42 minutes for you guys, so that's not bad. Federal Way to Seattle, we've got about 44 minutes now. Brake lights past the West Seattle Bridge are starting to intensify just a little. Lake bridges are good. And out of the north end, well over 55 minutes now from Everett to Seattle, with 35 of that away from Linwood. Those couple of miles past the Jackson Golf Course down towards the Forest Merge at Northgate are really slowing down. For 405, a little bit better, 50 minutes with the brake lights there south of Canyon Park down through 522. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
We are underway.
There's only one Rick Riz.
The Grippies with back-to-back home runs. Number 258, a Major League record for Ichiro.
The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show on Seattle's Morning News.
Well, the good guys had a tough week this week, falling several games under 500, down in the divisional race, yet there's still hope as the team looks to get healthy, maybe add some extra firepower before Monday's trade deadline. Let's check in with the voice of the Mariner, our friend Rick Riz. Good morning, Rick.
Hey, good morning, Charlie and David and Chris. How you guys doing today? It's nice to see this ball club back home after the tough road trip. It's going to be a quick turnaround. They played last night in Los Angeles. So I look forward to the ball club getting things turned around starting tonight against the Minnesota Twins with Bryce Miller up on the hill.
What are you looking for as this big series gets underway this weekend?
Charlie, a lot. Number one, we've been talking about the offense really all season long. It's really struggled because of so many injuries. And Cal Raleigh, missing 5 weeks, and JP's hurt. But right now, the starters had a rough time in the last road trip. They had pitched to a 9 ERA. This is still, I think, the best starting staff in the American League. Bryce Miller's been pushed back a couple of days. He's getting the start tonight. So the other thing, too, is, man, when you're struggling offensively, you can't afford to let the other teams like the Texas Rangers and the Dodgers, 2 great teams, take an early lead. They scored a run in the first inning in each of the 7 games. So when you're struggling offensively and you have to play from behind that early in the ball game, it makes it really tough. They win 2-5 in that last road trip. But all that said, they're still just 2.5 games out of first place. I still believe in the talent in that clubhouse right now. Jerry DiPoto and Justin Hollander are working really hard. We talked about that, looking to make a deal at the deadline or maybe bring up a bat. We'll wait and see what happens here in the next few days. But the talent is still on this ball club, and I really believe they'll get things turned around.
Yeah, Rick, I hate to always bring up the 95 team as we do, but when you talk about teams that have so much talent, they kind of underperform in the first half of the season, and they have to dig their way out of it. I mean, they're reminiscent of each other. Do you see kind of a similar DNA in the way these teams are built, and hopefully maybe some optimism going into this second half here that they can? I mean, they're not nearly as far behind as the 95 team was. Like you said, they're definitely not out of it. But, how do they get that fire the way that 95 team did?
Yeah, they just need to look at one another in the clubhouse, go, we're a lot better than this. And then 95 ball club, like you mentioned, David, was unbelievable. It was one of the greatest comebacks in the history of Major League Baseball. 13 games out of first place with 2 months left to play. Comebacks like that don't happen. It was unbelievable. But they did it without Ken Griffey Jr. When Jr. came back. Mariners got the best player in the game back, and they took off. The Angels really struggled. But I'll go back to last year in 2025. The Mariners had 2 long road trips to the East Coast, and they really struggled at the end of August. And they finished a long road trip in Atlanta, lost the first game. But then in the second game against Atlanta, they went out and won 10-2. They scored a bunch of runs. In the third game, final game of the series, final game of that road trip, they won 18-2. And that just jump-started the ball club. That's, David, when they had that great run. They won 10 in a row, and they won 17 out of 18. This club has a run in them. That would be tough to do. 10 in a row is tough to do at any time, 17 out of 18. But they can put that kind of run together. I really believe that. So, they've done it before, and I know that they can do it again. I think I'm looking forward to it in the last few months here.
Rick, we have the trade deadline coming up on Monday. Really interesting quote from Cal Raleigh. He said earlier in the week that playoff teams buy at the deadline, and he's confident this is still a playoff team. Is there a realistic trade the team can make to bring some firepower back?
Oh, I think so. Jerry DiPoto has been really good, like I said, and Justin Hollander seeing what they can do and striking early. Right now, we're 3 days away from the trade deadline. Last year, they went out and got Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez, both from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And they didn't have to trade any one of their top 10 prospects. They didn't have to touch, Colt Emerson, who's with the ball club right now, and the other guys. So, I look for Jerry and Justin to come up with some sort of deal to bolster this ball club, to get them ready for the second half or this stretch run in the last 2 months of the season, because that's what they're really good at. They're really good at, number one, scouting and drafting young players to get them to the big leagues or use them in trades, because the farm system is so stockpiled with talent. They still have 6 or 7 guys in the top 100 prospects in all of Major League Baseball. So they have the ability to make those trades. If those guys aren't available down in the major leagues, they don't get Gino, who had the big grand slam. They don't get Josh Naylor, who was outstanding, when he came over from the Diamondbacks last year. So, I look for Jerry and Justin to be really busy. I know they're on the phones right now more than any GM or president of baseball operations than any team in baseball. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here in the next 24 hours and the next 3 days.
Okay, Rick, we've talked about this before. I'm always the Captain Bring Down of this. Hey, for the people like me who have kind of fallen into the despair a little bit and kind of are like, early on, it was only May. Oh, it's only June. I'm looking at September only, I'm like, please talk me back from the ledge. Be my therapist. I'm sitting there like Sparky, and tell me what you tell him when you're feeling at your lowest. We're getting out of this, right? I need therapy. Help me.
Someone said in the Bible, this too shall pass. And, this will pass. These guys are good. They were 8 outs away from the World Series last year. They just played in Los Angeles, where they had a chance to play late in October last year. They know what the prize is. They know what they need to do inside that clubhouse. Nobody needs to tell them. They don't need any rah-rah stuff. They just have to do what they're capable of doing. But they just been hurt along the way. And when you lose the best player in baseball last year, Cal Raleigh, who was, the 60 home runs and played every day, caught 122 games, when you miss him for 5 weeks, it's tough to come back. J.P. Crawford is still suffering from the sore wrist. Andres Munoz is now, over the last month and a half, he's been the best closer in baseball. He went 13 appearances without giving up a run. He finally gave up a run his last outing. He has an ERA of about 0.64 now. It's last 14 outings, but they can't get to him. They just have to get healthy and do what they're capable of doing. Dom Canzone has been incredible. He's emerged as an everyday player, left-handed hitter, hitting left-handed pitching. Rosarena has been an all-star. Cole Young has had an all-star first half of the year. He should have been an all-star. So it's there. They just have to get healthy. They have to get on the field. And I think everything is going to be just fine. We've seen it before. We've seen the miracle comeback in 95. We saw the comeback last year. This pitching is really, really solid, one of the best staffs in all of baseball. And I look forward, like I said, in the next 2 months to get this team into October. Everybody's going through this. You know, the American League West, the Rangers are right around 500. Houston has been playing a little bit better. They're at 500. We're a little bit below 500 right now. Everybody's in the same boat, but now it's time to make a move right now. You don't want to wait till the last, week of the season. Can they do it? Absolutely, they can do it. And I look forward to them to doing it here in the next 2 months, Chris. It's going to be okay, buddy.
Okay.
You have to trust.
Okay.
You have to trust the length of the season.
And there was something.
We're getting there. But you have to trust the length of the season.
Thank you, preacher. Thank you. Amen.
You're welcome. My son, and be happy.
I think all of us Mariners fans on that Tuesday game in LA there, obviously the last 2 games of the series did not end well, but that first game of the series where they hung on, especially Andres Munoz hanging on there, that gave, I think, some of us so much optimism and so much kind of hope going into the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Really hope the team can kind of propel themselves forward with that.
David, I'm glad you brought that up because that's who they are. They can score runs. They can stop the other team from scoring late in the game. Munoz had the tying run on a third base with nobody out.
The tying run being Shohei Ohtani, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And then a strikeout, got the next out, and then a ground ball to JP at short, and the game was over. That took some, that took some guts, to get out of a jam like that, and he did it. And the Mariners needed to win. And every win or loss against Texas, that was a 2-game swing in the standings. You win, you get a game closer. If you lose, you get a game back. So that's that 2-game difference that eventually you have to make up. But to see that ball club do what they did in that first game, David, I'm glad you brought that up. That's the team that I've watched for the last few years. And that's the team I think we're going to see here down the stretch.
Rick Riz, give Sparky a scratch behind the ears for us, okay?
Okay, Will. He's around here.
He's around there somewhere.
Everybody's saying, there's Sparky over there.
Oh, there's Sparky. This is why you need to watch the YouTube feed.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Hey, Sparky.
All right, Rick Riz.
He's my buddy.
The Rick Riz Show. Thanks for your time this morning. We'll check in with you next week. Sully, take it away with traffic.
That's cheaper than $100 an hour therapy. Thank you, Rick. Okay, on the roads right now, boy, we got a 4-mile backup and about a 25-minute delay on southbound 405 as you work your way from Bellevue down into Renton. We're going southbound here. This is for emergency repairs to what looks to be an expansion joint right after sunset, right before sunset, excuse me. 2 out of the 3 lanes are blocked. Only the HOV lane is open, which is open to all, but just big-time delays there. We're looking at 35 minutes from Bellevue to Renton. Going the other direction, it's 10 minutes faster, 25 from Renton to Bellevue. Valley Freeway, we've got about 40 minutes from end to end. Federal Way to Seattle's under 45, and about 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Lake Bridges, good. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Sunny, 83, the forecast high for Seattle today. Low 70s, chance of showers tomorrow and Sunday. 61 right now in Seattle. Coming up, the latest on the forced resignation of Seattle's police chief. Luke Ducey's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear the John Curley Show, 3 to 7.
If 20 people were asked to choose toppings for a pizza, and the majority were not asked to pay for any of the toppings, they would probably choose, the majority would, the most delicious and therefore the most expensive. Government should list the price of the toppings and everybody should pay something. We are ruled by the ignorant, elected by the ignorant, and that is the case.
Watch live or later on the John Curley Show's YouTube channel.
Hey, cruise fans, you want to see more of the destination you came to explore? Try Uncruise Adventures. With only 22 to 86 guests, your ship is your floating base camp, a launch pad into wild bays, quiet coves, and places big ships can't go. Trade Vegas-style shows for Mother Nature's show. All-inclusive, award-winning adventures in Alaska, Mexico, Hawaii, Costa Rica, and the Galapagos. Visit uncruise.com and talk to an adventure specialist today. Tell them you heard it from Rick Riz for exclusive savings.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good night's sleep.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Nothing worse than clutter. With Closets by Design, everything will finally have its place. 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Closet.byDesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps." Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at LifePointLaw.com. That's LifePointLaw.com.
Hey, I want to introduce you guys to a brand new sponsor to the show. I'm very excited to welcome Phil Mitchell from Sunset Auto Family. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Hey, thanks, Jake. Nice to be here.
It's so great to have you here. I want to jump right into something that you guys offer that is such a benefit to anybody out there looking for a vehicle. You guys have 48-hour used vehicle exchange. Tell me a little bit about how that works.
Well, basically, we want to take the fear out of buying a pre-owned vehicle. So we give you 48 hours. You take the car home, you decide if you like it. And if you like it, you keep it. If you don't, you bring it back, and we try to find you something you do like.
All right, so let's say a scenario. I see something I love. I'm worried that it's not going to be there next time, so I jump on it real fast, and then I get it home to my garage, and it doesn't fit. I can bring it back?
You can bring it back, and we'll find you something that does fit. It just takes all the fear out of it. There's no more guilty feelings. You don't have to be stuck with it for 5 years or 10 years. You bring it back, we find you something that works.
Sunset Kia in Auburn, Sunset Ford, and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:31. I'm Charlie Harger. Reaction mounting across Seattle as Mayor Katie Wilson asked her police chief, Sean Barnes, to resign. City council members, the police officers union, and many black community leaders are calling Wilson's decision wrong and reckless. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joining us live with more.
Sean Barnes announced his resignation yesterday through an attorney that is representing him, saying he was surprised by the mayor's request, but he expressed his dedication and appreciation to the city. Of course, the reason someone might hire a lawyer is to negotiate terms of a resignation. But there are a lot of questions swirling around now about Katie Wilson's videotaped statement on social media where she made it official.
This afternoon, I received and accepted the resignation of Chief Barnes.
It comes 4 days after Sunday's gang-related mass shooting where 2 innocent people were killed and 4 others were injured, including a 2-year-old boy at the Bite of Seattle at Seattle Center. Wilson praised SPD for acting with speed and professionalism. But then she acknowledged a lapse in communication to the public, to people still sheltering in place, not knowing what to do or if they were safe, and nothing about police still looking for more armed suspects on the loose.
Our after-action review of the city's communications with the public and the media revealed real gaps. Information could and should have gone out much faster through social media, the emergency alert system, the SPD blotter, and/or an off-site press conference. The public should have heard sooner about outstanding suspects and the status of the Seattle Center campus.
Yeah, right there in that statement, the mayor mentioned specific tools they have to inform people, like a system called Alert Seattle that sends messages using texts, emails, voice calls, and social media notifications. In a press conference Monday, she said they couldn't use that tool. In the video statement, she reversed that, but blamed miscommunication between departments, didn't take the blame herself or on her own office.
Earlier this week, I should not have defended the fact that the city did not use Alert Seattle. Through our review, I have learned that there was a miscommunication between departments that resulted in no alert going out when it would have been a good tool to use.
And when it came to holding a press conference early Sunday night, instead of waiting 5 hours after the shooting.
I also want to name that there was miscommunication between SPD and my office about the timing of a press conference late in the evening between 9:45 and 10:45 p.m.
This also needs some clarification because sources tell me Seattle police were ready to go with a press conference early after the shooting. A police public information officer told media at the scene, you'll remember though, instead they were waiting for other dignitaries to arrive at the scene, including Governor Bob Ferguson and Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. Wilson has denied that claim repeatedly that they were waiting for dignitaries. Governor Ferguson then revealed his text messages with Wilson that night, which showed he was going to be at the scene well before 11 p.m. for that press conference, and his office said they had nothing to do with any delays. A day later, Wilson said SPD was still clearing a building at the time, the nearby IMAX Theater at Seattle Center, and that is what caused the delay in that press conference. Well, now she's blaming a miscommunication between her office and SPD. So which reason is the right reason? Well, finally, that lack of communication, generally speaking to the public, this is what she said.
What I did not fully understand in that moment was how little information had reached the public or the press since the incident began at 6 p.m. Had I known that, I would have pushed for an immediate briefing rather than waiting for a press conference to be organized. The frustration that was directed at elected officials arriving that evening was understandable, and it was frustration that had been building for hours.
Which begs more questions. Why and how did the mayor not know there was very little communication going out? Is her office not paying attention? Do they not have a communications plan? Does that mean the mayor is in control here when these things happen? Or is the organization and communication between the mayor's office and other departments so messy that one has no idea what the other is doing? There is a press conference, Charlie, at 11 a.m. today to introduce the interim police chief, Andre Sales. She's supposed to, and he's supposed to, answer questions. We'll see if those questions are asked. I'm sure they will be. But will we get answers? We'll find out.
We'll be carrying that live at 11. Thank you, Luke. Time to check traffic now. Here's Chris Sullivan.
We have a 40-minute trip now from Bellevue down into Renton on 405 southbound. That is a 30-minute delay as you see them continuing to work on what appears to be an expansion joint. Only the far left lane, only the HOV lane really is open. So 1 out of 3 lanes is all that's open there as you work your way down. Going the other direction, it's only 20 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. Rest of the map about average. For a Friday light, we have about about 45 from Federal Way to Seattle. Valley Freeway's a little over 40. Coming down from the north end, typical stuff, about 50 minutes from Everett to Bellevue and about 55 Everett to Seattle. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
It's sunny and 61, headed for a high of 83 today. It's 8:36.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
Not always the most fun thing to do, going to the dentist, but it does help keep you healthy. Consumer man Herb Weisbaum has advice for us on how to find a dentist who will make you smile. Herb is a contributing editor at checkbook.org. Okay, Herb, how do dentists in this area rate with their customers?
Oh, Bob, by the way, Charlie, I love going to the dentist. They always give me a lollipop when I'm done, sugar-free.
Sugar-free.
Of course, they point that out. Most dentists in the Puget Sound area receive very high ratings from their patients, but when it comes to the price they pay, only about 58% of Checkbook subscribers said the dentist did a good job of keeping costs down. And if you don't have dental insurance, that is really important. You need to check prices. Let me give you two examples of the price survey that Checkbook conducted in this area. Our undercover shoppers found that the cost of a routine exam and cleaning ranged from about $120 to more than $330. Big difference. And charges for an adult porcelain crown for a molar, including post and core, range from about $1,600 to more than $2,500. A huge difference. Now, the great news is that you don't have to forsake quality to use a dentist who charges low fees. We find the highest rated dentists are just as likely to charge lower than average prices as those who receive low marks for quality.
Herb, I've had a situation where I go to a new dentist and they're like, oh, we need you to do this, this, and this, and they want all these procedures done. And my last dentist didn't recommend that. What is somebody supposed to do if they encounter a situation like that?
What you need to do is ask a lot of questions and also get a plan in writing as to what they want to do, why they want to do it, and what the options may be. In a scenario like that, and we've all, I think, experienced it, there's two options. Either your original dentist wasn't doing adequate care, or your new dentist is pushing things that may not be needed for a revenue stream. So you got to be sure you know what's going on. Ask for a detailed what is going on, what's the problem, how are we going to fix it, is there an alternative plan that might be cheaper to that. You know, you'd expect a roofing company when they come to your house to tell you the pros and cons of replacing the roof versus repairing the roof. I think you should expect that from your dental provider as well. And also, if you get the plan and the price, and it is a lot of money, Charlie, get a second opinion. If you do have insurance will pay for those second opinions. And if it's a whole lot of money, it may be worth just getting a second opinion, because you may find out that you don't need some of the work that's being recommended.
You know, going to the dentist, even with insurance, though, Herb, is so dang expensive. Sometimes I question what I'm getting out of my dental plan, but that's another story. What about asking for discounts at the dentist?
Yeah, so if you don't have insurance, number one, there are discount dental plans that you can check out. We found that they can save you money, but unfortunately, the highest rated dentists don't always accept them. The other thing is, don't be afraid to ask. That's my rule. You can never go wrong with asking. All they can say is no. Some dentists offer some kind of discount plan. They may give you a discount plan for a new patient. They may give you a discount plan based on your group. You know, maybe you're a senior, maybe you're a veteran, maybe you're a first responder. So ask, is there any way to bring the cost of this down? And sometimes a good dentist will help you figure out how to pay for it, because they want you to be a client, and they also want to be sure that they do the proper care for your teeth.
So Checkbook did this thing where they evaluated a bunch of local dentists, readers and viewers of the website, went through and rated dentists on different aspects. And it sounds like there's a way we can get access to this for free, Herb.
Yes, Charlie, that's right. And, you know, the good news is that if you don't know where to start, ask a friend or neighbor.
Yeah.
You please tell me where to go. And then if you want us to see the ratings, which are for subscribers only, you can actually get that information from this special link that we created for you guys. And this is for over 244 dentists in the Puget Sound area. And Charlie, do you have the website there?
I do. Checkbook.org/KIRO-FM/dentist. No one on this planet is going to remember that, Herb. I better put it in My Northwest article.
That'll be great. And this is good till September the 1st. I have a personal question, if I may ask.
Yes, sir.
Do you still floss during the commercial breaks? I remember when I used to work with you.
I try to do it on camera now. We want to really boost viewership.
Burbank is a little close to you if you're going to be close.
Herb, it's always great talking to you. Consumer man Herb Weisbaum, checkbook.org. Also, check out the consumerpedia.org podcast. Thanks, Herb.
Thanks, Charlie. Have a good weekend.
We will be back with traffic.
It is summertime, which means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, fun with the family. And Brad, I'll bet it's easier to pay for with free checking from WaFd Bank.
That's right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Hey, you'll also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated the best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me more about this card control feature I've heard so much about.
Dave, you can view transactions for individual cards, set controls and alerts, and if you forget your card at the restaurant, you can instantly turn it off while you go back to get it. You'll also have access to free tools like Zelle, mobile check deposit, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And don't forget, you can choose from some great-looking debit cards, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit WaFdBank.com and open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank. Member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code MULTIPLY to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code MULTIPLY to borrow up to $10,000. Use code MULTIPLY to borrow up to $10,000.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
8:43. Let's check traffic on the threes with Sully.
And we're going to start with some positive news, Charlie. We should start seeing this 4-mile backup and 30-minute delay getting better on southbound 405 from Factoria down into Renton. The emergency repairs, it looks like they were working on an expansion joint, have wrapped up, and all of the DOT workers have moved out of the way, and all lanes of southbound 405 have reopened right there by Sunset. They had basically the whole right side and center part of the road blocked, and only the HOV 8 lane open through the area. That has now entirely cleared. At this point, it's 40 minutes from Bellevue to Renton, but I'm expecting that volume to move through, and in 10 minutes, the drive time to be much better. So improvement there. Renton to Bellevue going the other direction is only 25 minutes, so that tells you kind of how light it is. Puyallup to Renton running under 40 minutes, so that's not too bad. A little over 40 now from Federal Way to Seattle. You really don't hit the brake lights much till you get up to the middle of Boeing Field, but then you hit it hard past the West Seattle Bridge. But overall, by most day standards, it's a good day. Lake bridges are still fine. Coming down from the north end, we're thinning through Bothell and Canyon Park on 405, but we haven't quite gotten there yet on the I-5 side of things. Still about 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle, about 45, maybe a little under from Everett into Bellevue. So we're getting there. It's just going to take a little bit longer. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Mixed bag in the forecast today. Sunny and 83 in Seattle. It'll be in the upper 90s east of the mountains. Tomorrow here in the Seattle area, a few showers, kind of breezy as well. And high of 72, 71 with morning showers on Sunday. Both Saturday and Sunday, we should have some afternoon sun breaks, however. Monday, we start to rebound. 76 the forecast high. And on Tuesday, back to sunny and 83. Right now, it's 63 downtown. Coming up next, it's Paul Holden with the Weekend Planner here on Seattle's Morning News.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. What a week on the water. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, guests were able to see humpbacks, Biggs orcas, minke whales, a gray whale, Pacific white-sided dolphins, harbor porpoises, stellar and California sea lions, harbor seals with new pups, a sea otter, bald eagles, and dozens of tufted puffins. Highlights included the T-38 orca family hunting along the shoreline, humpbacks Pinnacle and Rumble feeding in the strait, and more than 100 harbor seals hauled out at Protection Island. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds, Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Morning tours sell out quickly, so don't forget about afternoon departures. Orcas, humpbacks, gray whales, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain. DayandNight.net.
Slow drain? Backed up toilet? Call Day and Night to save $100 off any drain cleaning.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. From a slow drain to a major backup, no drain is too big or too small. Whether we're your first choice or smart second opinion, I guarantee our experts will solve any drain problem, day or night.
Now get $100 off any drain cleaning.
DayandNight.net.
KIRO Newsradio is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the KIRO Newsradio app or visit mynorthwest.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's mynorthwest.com/win.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Opa KIRO style. Maybe. Final moments of Friday edition of Seattle's morning news. Yes, the show is becoming unhinged with Sully doing his best Psy imitation. If you're watching on YouTube, some great dancing there, Sully.
Yeah,
we're proud of you.
I don't think that's true at all. Kind of like your commentary this morning. Not exactly true either.
Well, let's get ready for the weekend. Paul Holden is here with our weekend planner. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, everybody. There's nothing big or important going on this weekend, right?
Yeah, you're wrong.
I'm very, very wrong. Let's dive into all the fun here.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
Sully, I need you to do me a favor. I don't think we can pull it off this year. It's a little too late.
Okay.
But next year during Seafair, I need to see you in one of the smaller hydro boats that go out there. The little solo ones out there, the little mini ones. Have you seen these?
No. Why do you want a morbidly obese man in one of those?
I think you got a great shot at
it's sinking?
At winning. At winning.
No, it does sound like you're trying to get Sully to have an untimely death or something. You should go no seatbelts.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, okay. Why?
I just think it would be fun to see you. You're a master of the roads. Let's see how you are out on the water. In a small, cool little craft that'll take you around. That's just one of like I said, I saw these pictures. I've seen videos. They have these cool little boats that a single person rides around in. Very, very fun. Of course, Seafair is going on throughout the weekend. mentioned here, Blue Angels. We got the hydros on the water. My best recommendation, go just check out Seafair's website so you see the full rundown, the full schedule, all the info you need. But the most important news, the events tonight are free. So if you are interested in checking out some stuff tonight, they are free, courtesy of Windermere there. But like I said, get all those details on Seafair's website. Magnolia Summerfest, that's going to be going on there. And I actually walked around this last year. That's over in my neighborhood here. Really perfect neighborhood festival. It's got everything you need, vendors, a bunch of stuff for the kids. If you're looking for, hey, it's Saturday, I just want to go let the kids run rampant for a little bit and tire them out and make it easy, this is going to be the place for you. They got different events going on throughout the weekend. Tonight's a free showing of The Sandlot. They got a parade at 10 o'clock tomorrow, and on Sunday they're going to have a big talent show, so you can check that out here. And this was a little bit of a flashback for me here as well. I remember Dave Ross used to talk about this place all the time. Mike's Chili Parlor.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike's Chili Parlor. Mike's Chili Parlor in Ballard. Now, this is for those 21 and up, so I will put that disclaimer here. But they're putting on a hyper local music festival this weekend. They describe it as in, by, and for Ballard. So if you want to see some real cool local music at a really cool place, Mike's Chili Parlor is a staple.
An institution, yeah.
Great food and just a place that, has just been there for forever. So you can go and check that out. But here's something fun here for you. If you're looking up to the skies, the Blue Angels aren't going to be the only thing you'll see, especially in Tacoma, because it is the Kite Festival. Charlie, are you a big fan of flying kites?
Oh, sure. I go fly a kite all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there will be hundreds of kites in the sky, and good news is if you don't have one to fly, you can pick up a kit to build your own, and they also are going to be giving away the Pierce County Kite Flyers Association. So shout-outs to the Pierce County Kite Flyers Association. They're going to be giving out 250 of them to fly, and there'll also be some, so it's not just amateurs, there'll be the pros too. So
professional kite flyers.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna see professional, like full scale kites, and the pros that I think you pilot. Do you pilot it? No, you fly. I guess, do you fly?
Yeah.
I guess if you're a professional, I don't know if I guess they
I haven't really thought it through, Paul.
I know it's the big questions that we think about here, but we got lots more information on a busy weekend here, including the Goblin Guild Bazaar going on in Fremont. Yes, I got details.
That sparked my interest.
Yes, I got details on that, plus a whole bunch of other festivals for you at mynorthwest.com.
That was maybe the least surprising thing I've ever heard David Burbank say. Goblin Guild Bazaar, I'm in. Well, thank you, Paul. All at mynorthwest.com. You have a great weekend, my friend.
You all as well.
It's 6, make that 8:53. Let's check traffic.
No, we're not doing 2 more hours.
Let's do 2 more hours.
Yeah, no.
Not that we don't love hanging out with all of you.
Yeah. What's the traffic looking like right now?
Well, as promised, we're seeing our travel time cut significantly on southbound 405 between Coal Creek Parkway down into Renton, now that they've finished up those emergency road repairs that blocked 2 out of 3 lanes for the better part of an hour. So we're back down to about 28 minutes to go from Bellevue to Renton and trending in the right direction. I mean, it's still a 15-minute delay pulling away from the I-90 corridor, but once you're south of that, it gets much better. Going the other direction, the primary commuting route, Renton to Bellevue, is about 25 minutes. Valley Freeway's great, under 40 minutes there the whole way. Olympia to Tacoma's got a little bit of braking in South Tacoma, a little bit up the hill towards 18, but overall Federal Way to Seattle's about 42 minutes now. That's about as light as it gets, even with the slowing you have past the West Seattle Bridge. Both of the lake bridges look really good, other than just a little westbound slowing as you approach I-5. Coming down from the north end, we've kind of made it through so far on 405, just breaking through Canyon Park before it eases. For 405, for I-5, it's still from the Jackson Park golf course down. So it's about 48 minutes from Everett to Seattle, getting closer to 40 from Everett to Bellevue. So we're getting there. This report brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. You can open a money market special online with 3.75 annual percentage yield. Full access to your money the entire time. Harborstone.com/money market, insured by NCUA.
Going to be warm today. Nice one to get out and enjoy. 83 the high in Seattle tomorrow and Sunday. Both days looking at a chance of showers. Also partly sunny at times with highs in the low 70s in Seattle. Right now, it is 61 downtown. Coming up, Fresh Friday, G and Ursula have Attorney General Nick Brown on the show. And remember, we'll have the live press conference from Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson introducing the new police chief at 11 o'clock.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
You hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life's sleep.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. And if there's two things you can count on, it's your smoke detector battery dying at 3 a.m. Not 3 p.m. on a Saturday when you have nothing going on, but in the middle of the night when you're fast asleep.
Oh, come on!
Get 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Just one more thing you can count on. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
50 seasons, 50 legends, one unforgettable night. Join the Mariners Saturday, August 8th for 50 season celebration night at T-Mobile Park, presented by Daktronics.
The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
Before the team takes on the Rays, arrive early for the most epic pregame ceremony in Mariners history. You'll witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed. From Griffey to the Big Unit, from Ichiro to Nelson Cruz, and every legend in between, you don't want to miss this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Junior with a 2-run home run. Everybody is going bonkers here in the Kingdom.
Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
What would you do if the person you love needed round-the-clock care and you had no plan to pay for it?
I was very worried about running out of money.
When Mike's wife was diagnosed with dementia, he turned to LifePoint Law and Elder Law attorney Rajiv Nagayich.
And then he said, "You're going to be okay, but we have to get through these steps." Then I felt a whole lot better going into it. It was still a very difficult process, but in the end, I knew that there was someone there that if I needed help, understood what I'm going through.
LifePoint Law helped Mike protect his wife, his finances, and his future.
They laid it out really well up front. They give you a very in-depth plan. There are so many things that you don't know. I could never have done it on my own.
Register for a free LifePoint Law retirement planning seminar in Federal Way August 1st, Puyallup on the 4th, Tacoma on the 6th, or Bellevue August 8th. Space is limited, so sign up today at LifePointLaw.com. That's LifePointLaw.com.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles